Gather round, we got no gods to please. Saturday night, no sermons, just ease. Discussions flow like midnight breeze. No prophets here, just minds to tease. We talk big bangs and evolution. Question faith with our solution. Stars align in our confusion. Breaking free from old illusion. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers. Open hearts and swift deceivers. Make a stand, no hidden levers. Raise your glass to reason's thrill. No ancient text, it's our own will. Debate till dawn, feel the chill. Saturday night, we've got the skill. Echoes of a godless choir. Like the world, we spark the fire. Free thought mindset to inspire. No holy walls to take us higher. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Join the fun, no need for trust. Dust to dust, we're stardust. No heaven high or hell to fear. Saturday night, we hold it dear. Fun and laugh at myth believers. Here we're all truth seekers.
Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to Saturday Night at the Atheist. Excuse me, I sound a little hoarse to myself. I don't know if I do to you, Ball, but this new quick health update. This new chemo kicks my butt. It better be doing some good. Let me tell you, it attacked me good. It gave me all the side effects. Hair fell out, all that kind of good stuff. And I'm feeling a little rough all week, but it seems to taper off after a week. So I was forewarned. This stuff is wicked, and it is, but it's got a good track record of attacking stuff. So it can attack me. I'm fighting it off. As long as it's attacking the right stuff, then I'm happy. How's everybody else doing out there?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yep. Any better, there'd be two of me.
All right. Simos, how's your health?
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. I'm here. I'm still here.
Good.
I've had a couple of near-death experiences this week, but fortunately, when she rang the bell, the ex-wife I'm talking about, I just ignored it. I didn't answer the door.
Yeah, we all have near-death experiences. I've had surgery a couple times, and let's not cut corners. Surgery is dangerous. Some people don't come back from surgery, so
I had a real impressive near-death experience. I didn't know she was married.
Yeah. And we've got Logan in the chat here, has been a member for 13 months. Logan, we know that.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
And Robin Webster is gifting the green Simos.
Yeah, I got to say, I'm just picking up my coffee, which I made just before the show. Oh, don't you love coffee? Oh, don't you love coffee?
I gave up the coffee. I gave up
As
the
I
coffee for
spam
tea.
before getting
Yeah.
back. Okay, yeah. So, Lock Demos Themes 2 received a get Caliesta. OL Joel. Hello, Joel. Deep State Annex. Jason Jacoby. And that's it. 1, 2,
There's just 5.
3,
There's 5 of them.
4. Only read 4 out. Can't see who the first one is. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Jacob. Yeah, I did read 5. I beg your pardon. Yes, there we go. Jason Jacoby. There's some names there from the blast from the past. Thank you very much, guys. Remember, everybody that's just received one, spam like crazy. And if you haven't received one and you've already got one, spam, like Monty Python says.
Yeah, we wanna get Mike on here. So anybody out there in the mood, we're trying to get Mike a membership.
Well, I've got to figure out. We're going to figure out how Mike's got his gifts turned on.
He's got it turned on because he got one on
I got one
Bree's
for
channel.
Bre today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it is on. And Robin, of course, you want some Bigfoot. Bigfoot is for you.
Dave, you didn't at some time get mad and ban Mike, did you?
No,
Okay, just making sure.
I've banned very few people. I try to be open.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
I like it.
Thank you very much, Robin.
I like that big toothy smile he gives you.
You rock, and thanks for supporting the channel.
Yeah, and he doesn't have those fake, white teeth that people get treatments on. They're authentic, organic teeth.
I try to put in smiling, happy, happy-go-lucky Bigfoot. You know what I mean? And because some of them are pretty menacing looking, but I don't like spam. Ryan Murphy in the chat, great bit. I don't like spam. But you can have spam this and spam, but I don't like spam. And we want to say hello to everybody. Let me scroll up here and say hello to everybody. Hello, hey Brian, and hello Fred. Good to see you. Ryan Murphy's here. Demon Orb, always good to see you. Jasper. How you doing, Jasper? Good to see you.
Oh, big news from Jasper.
And we've got I've seen that.
We'll get it.
Big John and Jasper gifting a captive desk membership. Simos.
This membership goes out to an Arctic Fox.
There you go. Hey,
Congratulations to you.
We're hitting A's, Mike. We're hitting A's. Hang in there.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
And Jasper, you rock. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. Appreciate it very much. And
we want to see those emojis. We really want to see those emojis.
Yeah, feel free to use those emojis. That's what they're there for. Not everybody likes them, but Dave likes them. Dave made most of them, and Dave appreciates everybody that's a member to use an emoji now and then, just for the heck of it. We were talking a little bit about the show. These guys are authors. They've had NDEs. They are believers. They are Christians. They work for full disclosure. They're believers. It's a different viewpoint. I've been wanting to cover NDEs for quite a while. I classify NDEs as the same thing when people find religion and stuff. It seems that nothing against these folks or their recoveries, but they seem to have hit rock bottom, and that's when they have these experiences, is when they're at extreme emotional stress and or pump full of a lot of RXs. Simos can relate, and I can relate that when they juke you up, you don't know what reality is. You don't know where you are. So the mind, and Mike will attest to this too, the brain, the mind, whatever you want to call it, it does some weird things when you deprive it of oxygen and give it a whole lot of drugs, and your health isn't good to begin with, et cetera, et cetera. And a lot of these stories carry a similar theme, is severe stress, however you want to categorize it. This guy does it in 9 points or something. But really, it seems to be extreme stress. Would you folks agree that any emotional response is always brought on by these very strong emotional ties to them?
Well,
I kind of think,
near death. So,
yeah. Something is going on in your brain that's not usual, and I think what happens is your brain starts to shut down. All sorts of chemical imbalances happen, and things go on, and then when you recover, your brain kind of reconstructs that whole experience, because that's kind of what your brain does anyway. With memory, is reconstruct it, and so it comes out this weird experience. Now, I would like to make a prediction. You don't have to affirm me or whatever. I'm just going to make the prediction. I'm going to say they do not cover, or they hand wave away, the NDEs of Islamic, Buddhist, Jewish, or Hindu people in any other kind of religion. I'm just going to make a prediction.
This video definitely has a Christian lean to it. No denying that, but that's a good point, that people of other faiths have NDEs, and people of other faiths don't have NDEs. What they don't tell you is it's kind of a turkey shoot. Most people have had some type of surgery, or like I was saying earlier, we've all faced near death sooner or later, with surgeries or accidents or something where it was a close call, right? It could have gone the other way, right? We lead a fight every day to try and make it through, right? It's not a safe place to live. There's a lot of everything's trying to get us, really, so you really have to be careful. You really have to be aware, and the brain, it does do a heck of a job keeping us safe most of the time.
I'd say it's pretty easy to see why they're convincing to the people that have them. I've never had one, but it would, if you weren't already aware of, how common they are, and how they, different people from different religions have different ones, if you didn't already know all that brain chemistry stuff, I can see why it would be convincing.
Especially especially what your culture teaches you about these experiences.
Before we get started, there's an interesting thing I ran into quite a while ago, and it also has I also have an anecdote about it. But your visual cortex is arranged on the back of your brain, where if you were to unfold it, it would be like an exact map of your visual field. So it's it's almost like your visual field, the upper part is drawn onto the upper part of the brain in the back, right? And then when you start to lose oxygen, that shuts down from the outside in. And as you go inward, there's more and more chaotic rhythms that they found, so that so everything gets dark around the periphery. And some people have noticed this when they're passing out, that it'll seem like your peripheral vision goes first and then it just sucks inward until all you have is a point of light, and then bloop, you're gone. And I had that same experience on nitrous oxide at a dentist's office when they gave me too much. But there is a neurological or neuroscience explanation for why you see a tunnel of light. And they haven't proven this causally in every case, but there's some pretty good indication that we know what it is.
Just like one of them old TV tube TVs.
Yeah,
when
exactly.
They used to out, and they would just go down to that little bitty old dot of light.
Yeah, they do the same thing, don't they? Yeah, I remember that.
Hey, I used to have a buddy whose dad was a dentist, and so he had that. He had all them tanks and stuff, and like masks and stuff over his house. So we used to do the shit out of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because he would steal it from his dad's dentist's office, so we would sit there and do all that gas.
Yep. Yeah, I felt like I was falling into a well, and the well, kept getting narrower and narrower, and then all of a sudden it was a blip, and I was gone.
There's one time that I've been knocked out, like suddenly, like I got hit in the back of the head with a stool, and I remember as I was going down that it felt like my arms were in the like where my legs were, and it felt like my arms and my legs switched places right before I lost.
Oh yeah.
Contact.
Moondog. Hello.
I just put a reference to that physiology of the tunnel in the chat.
Yeah, like I say, there's a lot of underlying things. You can watch near-death experience videos till the till the cock crows. There's endless of them, and they get millions of views. The main thing is that they're the people that have them seem predisposed at some kind of crisis in their life to have them. Whereas most people, that face surgeries and strokes and heart attacks and different dilemmas, don't seem to have them, even in other religions, except when you have crossovers. Now, there are people that say they've seen Jesus that weren't Christians or something, but they've heard this story, and it seems to be a crossover thing. So I think, again, a lot of these people, when I hear the stories, they're in jail, they're in the hospital, they're facing a disease, whatever it may be. It's very hard on the emotions, and it predisposes you to having these things. Whereas if you're just going about your business and you have to go in for surgery or something, you just go in, you get it done, and go on with your life, and there's nothing supernatural about it. So I'm kind of curious as to are these people setting themselves up with a lot of hope or something, or what's going on that they want to have these things, and they always seem to be, like I say, at a rock bottom, and then they've gone from that to a very happy person, right?
Yeah. Pretty common occurrence.
Yeah.
But when you're grasping at straws, your brain and life will provide straws for you to grasp. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to have a near-death experience, you have to be close to death. So if I recovered from that and everything, I would be very happy not to be dead.
Yeah, and in today's speak, what is near death? They're doing fabulous things, are resuscitating people. So, did they just resuscitate you? Is it just an advancement in medicine, or were you just, the old question always comes up then, why you and not the other guy? Person in the next room didn't make it. Person in the next seat didn't make it. Person in the other vehicle didn't make it, right?
Yeah.
So then,
when we talk about near-death experiences, are we at the same time talking about out-of-body experiences, or are those usually treated separately?
they round them together. You've left your body.
They do.
Yeah.
But I tell you what confuses me about these body near-death experiences, and they've never been able to explain this. I've asked a lot of people that know about them, and no one's ever explained this. They say things like, when I was in hospital, right, I could hear everybody in the room, or I have a recall of what was said in the room and stuff, and I floated above my body and floated outside like the hospital, and I saw like a tennis shoe on a window ledge, or something, and and lo and behold, when I came back down again, we went to that window and there was a tennis shoe, and I've never been able to understand this, because like, what is it about having a near-death experiences that makes you want a tennis shoe?
I don't know.
I don't know. And secondly, who the hell is going around hospitals putting tennis shoes on windowsills? I don't know. I have no idea why people do this, and yeah, it's unexplainable. So
those candy stripers do it.
Therefore, Jesus, I understand that.
Obviously. There's also the phenomenon of you'll be driving along a highway or a street, and you'll see like a pair of tennis shoes with the two laces tied together over the electric wires, and that's something I used to see quite a bit.
So I wonder if they interviewed a bunch of peeping toms that had near-death experiences, if they would be looking up skirts.
Exactly.
That's what seems to be left out of these, is that most people, once you categorize what is a near death, they don't seem to remember anything. They were out cold. They remember the paramedics yelling and giving them drugs and stuff like that. But like Simos said, they're in the hospital. They remember things about the hospital. They're in whatever situation they're in. Some are in jail. Some are facing accidents and whatnot, horrible things, indeed. But they all seem to be very traumatic. And like Scott was saying, the brain's trying to make sense of it, because 1 minute everything was fine, and the next minute everything is topsy-turvy. Topsy-turvy. Hello, Gio. How you doing?
Yeah, the two surgeries I've had, they were in big operating rooms, both of them, particularly at the Mayo Clinic. And I have really, really strong memories of that hospital room and the people standing around me. And then for my gallbladder surgery, because I was in such pain, I had this vision that they had strung me up like a piñata and beat me with a baseball bat. And I can actually see that in my mind's eye. So, I mean, it's like, I think you get into a state where your memories are really imprintable. Like, you can really come away with a strong memory. And if you've ever been in an accident where you've been intermittently conscious and passing out, you'll notice that time slows down and you remember in utter detail everything that you saw, right at the point that you're coming to and going down. So, I mean, this stuff is pretty easily explained, I think.
And once again, there's always is there a reasonable physical explanation, or do we have to jump to something supernatural? Because that's what it is here, is that when, and we haven't seen the video yet, so I don't know what they're going to say, but the implication is, there's a spiritual world out there, and near-death experiences is a proof of that. In fact, that's kind of a strategy that apologists have decided to pursue in many evangelical circles, rather than using science or anti-evolution and some of the other traditional methods to try to debunk. just bring out the fact that there's NDEs and hovering trash can lids, like ghosts or whatever. And what was another thing? Oh, have you ever heard evangelicals talk about dragons? How dragons are what prove the Bible, because the King James Bible, one or two places I think mentions the word dragon, and so they're going to all of these. What's the word for that whole set of kind of weird, unexplained things like Loch Ness monster, cryptid, or I don't know, but that's kind of the strategy. Get people who already are tending to believe in things like Bigfoot or Loch Ness or ghosts or UFOs, near-death experiences, and get them into the fold rather than trying to approach things through science and reason.
Jill is off to see Mom in the hospital. Take care of Mom. Hope Mom's doing better. And standard deviation is here. Human senses are fairly easy to trick. Yeah, there's a lot of questions that come up. I mean, what's profound to somebody is to somebody is not profound to somebody else. So, hello, Kurt. How you doing? So yeah, defining things, and then again, when they talk to most people, like when I had my surgery, I mean, breathe deeply, and then Mr. Murray, time to wake up. I mean, hello, I'm still here, right? And you're kind of wacko, but I guess it's tough for people like myself, and other people will attest to it too, that just don't have these things. We've had surgeries a couple of times. We've had the drugs. We've had a lot of drugs. Had serious surgeries.
It's the drugs, Dave. It's the drugs.
Yeah,
Like
and
I
nothing.
remember,
There's nothing.
I was out for 8 days. In those 8 days, they called me back into surgery 5 times. The only reason I know it's 5 times is because I heard the anaesthetist saying, "Okay, you're back with us now."
Yeah.
As he gave me an shot to wake me up a little bit. Right? That's because they put you in a deep state, and if you don't get put in a deep state, then you can have these near-death experiences. It just means your brain isn't shut down as much as it should be for what the anaesthetist was really wanting. And they tend to err on the light side rather than the giving you too much, because that's safer for you. Right?
Hey,
It's
I
only if
knew.
you're in a really serious operation that they want you out for good, and they don't want you moving around
Yeah, I was out.
because you're getting microsurgery in a very dangerous place. So that's how that works, right? Most of these NDEs are just
Using the chat.
associated. Most of these NDEs are just associated with operations for which they just don't give you as much drugs as maybe they could do to put you out completely. It's enough to get you, like, non-compos mentis, but it's not enough
Oh,
to stop the brain really remembering it. And like I
hey,
said, of those 8 days, I was in 5 times back into surgery, and all I remember is getting woken up after they brought me back out again. I remember the beep 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 of the alarm going off to call me back, because I was losing, I was fading, as they might say. And then then somebody came to me, they gave me a huge injection of drugs again, and I was out. And then I remember the surgeon or the anaesthetist coming around, going, "Okay, you're back with us now, Simos."
yeah, I don't remember much of ICU other than I guess I asked a lot of questions. I guess I was just happy to be alive. I mean, with the serious surgery, and then I refused to stop talking because I wanted everybody to hear me. Hello, Abe. How you doing? Good to see you.
So they didn't bring me back that much. I wasn't able to talk, and I wasn't able to consciously
Sebastian.
register whether I was alive or not. But
Yeah, I think
what
I
they
don't
wanted
remember.
me to do was
Yeah, I don't remember.
what they wanted me to do was to like make some conscious movement or something in my body to
Right.
show them that I had responded to the drug they'd just given me, you know, to bring me out of the deep coma. You know? So,
Yeah, I just I mean, all they were doing was handing me
that's all.
pills to take, and I was pretty juked, so it was all a lot of blur, a lot of you know, the nurses coming in seemed like every 5 minutes to check on you, and other than that, I don't remember any of it. So
yeah,
it's
like I said,
tough.
I was out for 8 days, so there were 8 days which I just wasn't conscious for. But in those 8 days, the only things I remember was the sound of the anaesthetist giving me an injection to bring me out of the deep coma that they put me in for surgery.
I don't.
But not enough to keep me right out. I mean, he put me straight back down again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing. We understand though that it was drugs, and it wasn't something else keeping us under, and why we went through the whole ordeal and everything that we did was the drugs involved. What's Mike got there?
And it had to be because it was the anaesthetist talking to me. It wasn't a nurse or anybody else. It was the anaesthetist, right? You only get one of those in a surgery room. They've only got one job.
This is a 2024 paper, and what that diagram shows is all the different kinds of consciousness there are, and then they lay it out on in 3 dimensions, and the whole paper talks about these gamma bursts that they found during near-death experiences. And there's just a whole lot of neuroscience that explains what's going on. But the interesting thing about this, there isn't just one kind of waking consciousness. You're always traveling between these bubbles, sort of, you know. And especially when you're falling asleep, you tend to, you're going between different domains of consciousness. And that's where you get these startle responses, or you'll hear somebody calling your name, or, you know, you'll hear something that really didn't happen. You have all kinds of hallucinations that are possible. But anyway, it's a really good paper. It's 2024. So anyway, that's all I had on that, Dave.
Yeah, that's really, thank you for that, Mike. I appreciate that, because I was a bit unaware of what was actually happening, of course, because I didn't understand it. But that makes a lot of sense now. That they were controlling my state of consciousness by giving me different types of drugs depending on what was needed at the time. So yeah, I just want to point this out. I've got to go in about half an hour or so. I'm sorry about that, guys, but I'll be leaving a little bit early.
Before you go, Simos, Dave, could you turn Simos's microphone up, or Simos, could you turn?
Sorry, there we go. There we go. It should be better now. Yeah. Sometimes I move my mic a little too far away. You're a bit quiet. Thank you. I am.
We'll run the video here, and again, except for the very introduction, that's all I trimmed off, and then it's going to roll right into hello, and this is so and so, and this is what they do. So let's play it while Simos is still here, and you take off when you have to there.
Yeah. Sorry about that, but yes, things that I've committed, I'm afraid.
Welcome to Round Trip Death, everybody. And I promise you, today is going to be unlike...
Can you stop right there? Okay, yeah. Okay, well, I think we can understand why this guy is talking about near-death experiences. Because
it's what his channel is.
Yeah, because he looks like he's currently having one, number one. And number two, is that a toupee?
Might be.
Yeah, I find that's common as well. What happens is when you're in surgery, you have a near-death experience, you float out of your body, and you can see the top of your head. And you go, oh, shit, I need a toupee. So
that explains it.
That explains it. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other episode that you've heard on this show before I give that little preface, I want to say hi to Sean Tabbitt. How are you, Sean?
I'm phenomenal, Eric. Been looking forward to this conversation.
And this, I feel dead as well.
Yeah, this poor guy lost his wife to cancer. He's especially interested in helping people publish, telling their stories. If you look behind him, it's hard to see, but he's got near-death books and whatnots behind him there. And so he's got an interesting little tale. They're not shy about saying they are believers.
Yeah, those. Yeah. So are these the books he's written? Is it? Am I right in thinking that, or he's just?
I don't know if he's written them or not, but they say near death and whatnot on them. So it's just something I noticed.
Okay. Well, we need to do a little bit more.
He is some kind of a author, publisher type person.
Yeah, he looks it.
He works for a publisher, I believe. So.
Thanks for inviting me onto the show. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome. And here's my little preface now. So Sean reached out to the show a little while ago, and he has a book out called
NDE. And there we go. He has a book out. Okay, gotcha. He's making money out of it. Gotcha.
Have a book. Yeah.
Conspiracy. Can we trust eyewitness accounts of heaven, hell, and the afterlife? So here's what I did today. No pre-interview, no nothing. We are going into this just with, I have no idea what's coming. You have no idea what's coming.
That's shorthand for I didn't buy his book. I haven't read his book, and I'm not interested in buying or reading his book. Go ahead.
An interesting title to your book. I don't know if you think NDEs are baloney or if you love them or something else, but I know you've been studying them for a long time, as I have been. So let's jump right in and see where the heck this thing goes. First of all, explain the title. Can we trust eyewitness accounts of heaven, hell, and the afterlife? Where are you going with that?
It really parallels my own journey. I work in publishing, and I've gotten to work.
He works in publishing.
Okay, fair enough.
Work with
I just need to say something at this point, really, which is something I believe a point that Hitchens made when talking with. Oh no, it wasn't Hitchens. It was Arif Ahmed made when talking to Gary Habermas. Look, why is it right that people in the West, right, that have NDEs, right, religious ones, they see Jesus and Mary, and if you're in the East and you're in India, right, you see Ganesh or whoever, you see a Hindu god, and if you're in wherever, you see the gods local to you, right? It's almost like NDEs correlate with where you're born, the same as whatever religion you are, right? So you'll see Mary if you're in whatever, if you're in Ireland and have an NDE, and you'll see whatever, and that correlation shows you that it's man-made. More than anything else, it shows you it's a psychological phenomenon. The fact that Christians, right, when they have NDEs, they quite often will see a religious figure from the Bible. If you're a Muslim, then you'll see Allah or a winged horse or some whatever paraphernalia from that particular book. If you're Jewish, right, presumably you see Moses or David. Right? So, just to say, if you're going to have religious NDEs, and they're a particular type, of course, then it just so happens to be geologically tied, or at least tied to the religion of your parents more typically than not. There are exceptions, of course. People do convert to different religions, in which case they'll have that. But it tends to be, very more it's correlated to geography and correlated to what type of religion you grew up in normally, or at least what religion you have, right? So, also Dinesh D'Souza. Was it Dinesh D'Souza? Yeah, no, it might be the other guy that's similar. said, "Oh well, no, you see, that's not right because I grew up in India, and I didn't get Hindu um, experiences. I got Christian experience, but it turns out his family was Christian in India. So rather than disproving Hitchens's point, I think he just doubled down on it. And that goes to show you, as I say, that this is a man-made psychological thing more than it is something which is an objective fact of the world. Sorry, just got to say that before I go, because that's the important part.
Seems to be something you've thought about before. Even if you aren't religious, you've heard the stories, and they're implanted deep, especially if you heard them when you were a kid. And so the belief is always there. It's not like Mike said. We have a good understanding of a lot of these things. Just people don't have a good understanding of them, right? They want to make their own meaning out of it. So
yeah, we could also use Hume's razor here and say, look, what's more likely that these NDEs are a legitimate way to the after, or a legitimate view of the afterlife, or that people are just reporting what they believe to be true.
And it automatically brings up the question too, why even among believers, most people don't remember anything. So what is, back to the definitions, what is a near death, right? Is it remembering something or not, right?
Oh shit, I misspelled there. So I'm having an exchange with AI Love, I think. Oh, I hope you love AI. That'd be good. But anyway. But he's saying that, we can't be certain. It's like, of course we can't. These are report. Has anybody ever started talking and reporting what they're feeling while their heart was stopped? That's what I want to know. I'm also interested, instead of near-death experiences, I'm interested in totally dead experiences, like Jesus. Like totally dead?
There's the caveat of near death and death experience. Did you actually experience death, or like they said, was it just a cardiac arrest, or something with the oxygen flow, something that got interrupted? But like that football player the other year, he got decked on the field, went to the hospital. They kind of shifted him around, got him straight, and he's playing football again. So it is amazing what they can know about the body and what they can do about the body, especially if stuff like that's just been a blow rather than a more serious condition. And hopefully doesn't affect them anymore. But one good deck and you can lose oxygen and affect your whole body. It's really weird. So anyway, Mr. works at the publishing company, took an interest in selling books, and people are going to talk about stuff, but it does raise questions.
Few near-death experiencers, helping them pull together their books, doing marketing, helping them to get interviews, all the things. And I remember when I first acquired my earliest NDE books, I remember sitting in what you would call a publishing board meeting where the whole team says, does this book have merit? Is a good investment? I remember the first one of those I sat in, I was skeptical. I was like, does somebody really need a book from a business executive who had an NDE? Is there like something impactful that's going to come out of the story? And I really wrestled with it. It was like, I don't know if this makes sense to acquire. We ended up acquiring that book, and I went on to work on other books. That was like my first falling into this space, was just in the context of the business I work in and to trying to decide what books are worth publishing. I would go.
What books are worth publishing? They're very popular. If you can find the popular stories, they make a popular sale. Somebody's got a chopper out.
Go on later to partner with that author on a bunch of content, podcasts, interviewing other experiencers and such. But I came into this space very skeptical. Some of that does come out of, I worked in retail bookstores back in.
Now, he says he's very skeptical, but when he tells his story about things that happen and stuff, he doesn't seem like a skeptic. He seems like he just accepts things for what they are. If somebody says it's a ghost, it's a ghost.
Yeah, it reminds me of when Christians say, yeah, no, I used to be an atheist. And you think, well, did you?
Right.
I mean, fair enough. You maybe you're a non-theist, but did you genuinely, have reasons to believe there is no God? Were you that type of atheist, or were you the type of atheist that says, I'm just skeptical and I've got an open mind, right? And so you're open to the idea, in which case, yeah, maybe, maybe if it's 50-50 and you think, well, it's 50-50 and that makes me an atheist. No, maybe you're just an agnostic all along, or maybe you weren't even an agnostic. Maybe you were just a non-theist for lack of thinking about it. Right? There's a wide range of different people that can be included in the term atheist, and some of them are almost Christians, and some of them, right, and some of them will never be Christians, right? So I always have that skepticism, like, well, where are you on that line exactly? Because, like, if you're just waiting for, I don't know, just waiting to meet somebody who's a Christian, and that's enough, right? Like William Lane Craig, right? Met a woman that he presumably fancied that was very happy, and then went, why are you so happy? And she went, well, I've got Jesus Christ in my life. And he went, oh, okay, yeah, I want to be happy. Yeah, if that's a good idea for you to become a theist, then okay, that's great for you and everything, but it doesn't say a lot for your the malleability and the skepticism of your mind, I think. If all it takes is a bit of peer pressure. And, he's sitting here admittedly saying, look, I had a financial bias towards publishing a book which I was skeptical about or thought was wrong. And that's why I published it. I mean, that's what he basically said. I was in a meeting, I didn't believe it, but I was judging the merits of whether we should publish it or not. Well, the reason you would publish it under those circumstances is because you think it's going to make you money. And that's fair enough, right? All right. That's why people publish fiction all the time, because it makes them money and no one thinks it's true. But the thing is, they write a big fucking title on the front of it saying, this is fiction. So there we go. And I think that's disingenuous of him not to come out right and say that. And then as he read more and more of them, funnily enough, he started to believing them. Anyway,
Jedi's saying good afternoon to everybody. And he's also dropping green, and you know what that means, Simos?
I do, yes. It means falling over my own tongue to read them out. Okay, Joshua, Hell's Bells, I love that. Frosty Synod, it's moving. My Unfinished Sock. Oh, I like these names. These are good names. Jeremiah, Christopher Tablante. Geoverse. Oh, welcome, Geoverse. I met you recently. Better Than Ember, receiving another one as well. She's very popular. Jesse Bear and Shy Boy, which is the name of a fantastic David Lee Roth song, as we all know.
I noticed Mike wasn't in that list. Did you notice that, Dave?
I didn't notice that, no.
Did you notice that, Simon? Mike wasn't in that. Hey, Robin, Mike was not in that.
Yeah, do you know why?
We're trying.
It's a conspiracy is what it is. It's a goddamn conspiracy.
Mike, are you sure you're not already a member? Like through YouTube?
No, I'm not now. No, my membership, it expired.
Okay.
That's
I'm not going to get one because I'm already a member. So.
Yeah, me too.
We got some Bigfoot here for Jedi. Here we go.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
And
Thank you. We really
again,
want to see
Jedi,
those
you rock.
emojis. We really want
Yeah.
to see those emojis in chat. Anybody that's got them,
Yep.
please
You know-
spam those emojis now.
Definitely spam emojis. Getting back to something Simon said about the I used to be an atheist kind of Christian, and this also ties with the kind of near-death experience kind of Christian as well. It's just kind of a thing of group dynamics, of belonging to an organization or a social, circle of people, is that there's this pressure to feel included and valued in your group. And if you have a story to tell that causes the people in your group to nod their head and go, oh yeah, amen, or whatever, then there's a little bit of pressure to have that kind of story. That's why I think you have I used to be an atheist without really defining, what kind of atheism it really was, kind of story, is because the person you're talking to is going to go, oh, well, praise God, what he has done in your life. And you're going to feel included and valued, and people will affirm you. And it's definitely
Yay!
Exactly.
I'm so sorry. I've just looked ahead. Important news coming in right now. Important news coming in right now.
Regios.
Okay, are we ready? Adios.
Green. Go ahead.
20 memberships. Here we go.
Damn.
Go.
We're going to be here all night.
Mage Grey Wolf, Brenta, Tanks, Generation Q3, Paul's Imaginary Friend, loving these names, Woken Stroke, Ivan the Terrible, A Goddess, Ninjester, Intrepid, Chimp, oh, fucking brilliant names, Neil the 604 Atheist, Christopher, Oceanus Helios, Project Nihilist, G-Man, Chrissy, Ducks Y, welcome Ducks Y, Moondog, received a gift, Left-Handed Jedi, thank you for someone getting finally to Left-Handed Jedi after all history, and I think that's it. That's everybody. Oh no, Answers in Atheism. Mike,
There we go.
What?
you can now spam. I want to see Mike spamming for the rest of the night.
Oh,
Did he
there
get
goes my
one?
conspiracy theory.
Yep. You better wrap
Yay.
emojis.
Are they? Oh, they're gonna let me do toast? Oh,
Yeah,
let's
they'll
see.
let you do
Do
toast and
all of
everything,
them.
Mike.
You can do
Come
all
on,
of
Mike.
You can
We
do
want to
all
see
that
them.
stuff.
I can do toast.
Regios.
Oh no!
Good job, Regios. Thank you very much. And Regios, you rock.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on till the skies, till the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Sorry to interrupt you there,
Venus,
Scott.
Regios, thank you very
I
much.
can't-
You rock.
Sorry to interrupt you, Scott. I really got excited there.
Hello, Commander. I think you got
Well,
your
just-
name read off earlier. Welcome.
Well, just knowing that Mike will quit whining is enough to get excited about.
Yeah,
Right.
come on, Mike. I haven't seen any. I haven't seen any
The
of
next-
these
the next
things.
4
Come on,
weeks-
Mike.
I can't figure out how to. I can't figure out how to do emojis.
Come on,
Hello,
Boomer.
Boomer.
Go down to add emotes.
Okay, Boomer.
The little smiley face in chat.
Smiley face, add emo. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay.
There it is.
Okay,
Oh, my
come on now.
goodness.
We really want to see those emojis, everybody, especially Mike.
How you doing, Commander? Good to see you. Al
And-
Trucker. Hello, Al Trucker.
Hey,
Oh,
Al.
Okay.
Al Trucker, nice to see you.
Okay.
Yay!
I can die now.
There it is. There it
There
is.
it
You
is.
can have,
All
you
right.
can have a
I'll-
near-death experience now.
Yeah. Also, I have 900 subscribers, so my life is complete
Yeah.
now. I've made
Oh,
it to 900.
fantastic.
We're looking at the 1,000. We're looking at the 1,000.
It'll never happen. I'm gonna settle for 900 for my life achievement.
You picked up a couple hundred in the last year or so.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
It isn't out of reach.
We got 6
yeah.
months. We got 6 months.
Yeah, the old ticker's failing now.
Right. I'm so sorry. I have to leave. But thank you all very much. I'm really sorry to duck out on you all. It's that time of the year where it's that time of the year. So okay, I will see you all very short next week. Hopefully, take care, everybody, and just remember, if anybody tries to give you a near-death experience, dodge.
Ooh.
Dodge. See you, Simos.
Funding right out.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
What that time of the year? What does that mean? What is that?
Okay, it's well, it's actually at that time of the 4 years. If that gives you any clues, every 4 years. What happens every 4 years?
Election or Olympics?
Yeah, in between the Olympics. What happens in between between
midterms?
The Olympics?
Midterm elections?
Nope.
Time to have sex? Is this your annual time to have sex?
No.
No?
It's the World Soccer Competition. I'll say it for you, Americans.
What the hell is soccer?
How do you say I'm an American without saying I'm an American?
That's pronounced soccer. And,
soccer fishing?
Soccer.
I
just want to say
in
this
Minnesota
quickly.
here we have
well done
fishing.
Well done to the USA for winning their first game 4-1 against Paraguay. So you guys should be excited. But there we go.
Yeah.
Boo.
Doesn't sound American to me.
Except the World Cup, the World Soccer Cup people are the ones that gave Trump the fake peace prize, ain't they?
I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. But yeah, FIFA, not great. Anyway, I got to do it because I've done it since 1978. I think I've been watching this tournament. So
enjoy it.
If I feel I miss it, and it's Brazil tonight. So Viva la Brazil, or whatever. But there we go. So thank you very much for having me on for the short brief period. As soon as the game's finished, I'll come back if you're still on. If not, I will see you shortly. And have fun.
Take care, Simos. We'll talk to you soon. Yeah, if folks that don't know, Simos is overseas. We always appreciate when Simos joins us. Don't forget, it's late for Simos. So just like it's early for Mark Reed, we got to make adjustments for some of these folks. So hope Simos enjoys himself. He said he's been watching since the 70s. So it's kind of a tradition. Yeah, enjoy yourself. Don't really care for soccer all that much. I think the field's way too big. It's kind of a snooze. But hey, people are into it around the world. And I'm overseas right now. Tons of ice. There you go. A lot of people are into soccer, as what they call football, which is very confusing because we don't play football with our feet. But anyway.
Tons of mice. Did your third wife know where you are right now? I don't know.
Watch out. Okay.
I'm checking out an Aware 2014 report of an NDE. Let me see.
I wasn't going to go through 1,000,001 reports of NDEs. I thought that because they do mention Christians and atheists a little bit, and my ears perked up, and I said, "Oh, that's the one."
I think the Christians should definitely watch the ones that where the Muslims see like Muhammad or Allah, and where the Hindus see the Hindu gods. Like to me that the existence of all them other big religions anyway is like what makes it so hard to ever think that there is actually a true one.
Mhm.
In college, and there was a certain season where like the heaven tourism books, as we called them, were kind of popular. There were a few stories where people recanted their testimony, said, hey, I embellished, we made some things up. And so for me, having seen
And see, and that's always a problem, and no matter what field you are. I've talked about this with cryptids. Let's say Bigfoot is real. All the fakes that are going on really taint that any serious research, right? Nobody is going to take you seriously when you're crying wolf all the time, right? So, in a way, people that are open to things should be more open to things. I will agree as far as that goes.
Standard deviation said when I wrecked my first motorcycle, I had visions of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
You put your trust where you put your trust.
Yeah. Neil
Life-
deGrasse.
Life after Bigfoot.
That's Jesus. That might be Jesus right there, Neil deGrasse. Hey, nerdy.
And Al has big feet. Watch out, Al. Oh, the ladies know you got big feet.
You know what big feet means, don't you?
Big shoes.
Yes, big shoes.
Big tracks.
that in retail back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I was just skeptical of the space. I didn't really have a grid for it. And interestingly enough, gosh, 7-8 years later from, first encountering some books in a professional sense, I've interviewed tons of people, written a ton and researched in the space. So skeptical, never intended to play or be in this space at all. And now it's just a big part of my life and has been. And
I think this is I used to be an atheist part of his NDE testimony.
Mhm.
Oh gosh.
The books sell. So
Obviously, he was not a skeptic.
yeah. Jedi dropping the green for $2. What would Bigfoot do? Indeed, that's a profound question.
He would rock.
He would rock.
That's what he does.
You rock, let's rock with the fire in our veins. Rock on to the skies, to the thunder and rain. All hail Bigfoot, the legend, the king. He walks among shadows, the wild spirits sing.
Yeah, you rock, Jedi. Thank you very much. And what would Bigfoot do? Jane Goodall said that the chimp lady, if you don't know her, spent her life with chimps. She said if a cryptid was proved to be real, she'd want it to be Bigfoot. And, who wouldn't want an 8-foot teddy bear running around, right?
Well, if you've ever paid any attention to the to Erica's extinct apes that she talks about sometimes, there was this
Gigantopithecus.
Yeah, it was pretty close to Bigfoot, great big ape.
Right. Hello, Tubian. What's Tubian got to say about Bigfoot? Bigfoot might just eat rotten berries and get drunk. Yeah, it's always a possibility. Freaking out Bigfoot.
Or they might get some of those magic mushrooms.
Yeah, I've found Mike's stash somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, Gigantopithecus, though, I believe was in China. I don't think they roamed around over here.
I don't think we had a lot of apes here, did we, in North America? Were there the apes just they?
I know we had some primates, but I don't know if they were apes or not.
Yeah, I think there was some
South America,
some monkeys, right? But I don't think we had I haven't heard about
monkeys, no apes. Yeah,
because they evolved, I guess after we broke off there, and they didn't evolve here. So we did get the T-Rexes, though. We did get all of the dinosaurs.
Got all the chicken all the chicken you could want.
And like
Thank you.
camels, did y'all know camels evolved here first?
Yeah, well, a lot of them bebopped across
The land
for
bridge, yeah.
a while. Yeah.
Yeah, but they evolved here first. Like they're originally from here. And I think horses too, but then they went extinct here. But I know I thought it was really weird that camels came out here.
Yeah. Well, they got the llamas and everything down south. So, yeah, it's not much of a stretch.
I suspect I'll be researching and writing in this space, for the next few decades. I just love it. So that's how I kind of.
Yeah. What does that tell you? They sell a lot of books. Like I said, these stories are popular. It doesn't seem that a lot of people have them, but a lot of people do read about them. So it is a popular genre.
Fell into this space. There was no plan. I'm sure I'd heard an NDE testimony here and there through the years, but yeah, it wasn't on my grid, wasn't on my bingo card.
So where's your level of skepticism now?
I don't have any skepticism about. I might have skepticism about some of the contents from the testimonies and stories people share in some of their near-death experiences. But, as I began to do life with these authors who became my friends, and I traveled with them to, TV interviews and just got to know them and see the fruit in their life and the impact that, these experiences had on them, I really began to think, okay, these things feel like there's some legitimacy here. I really tried to judge a lot of it by, again, the fruit, the impact, how their lives were changed. And that really made me go, gosh, this must be real. And, the longer I was in this space, the more I wanted to research and understand and meet more people. And so, again, not skeptical that NDEs are real, but skeptical about some of the things I see in the space, some of the conversations and whatnot. So, but yeah, I'm 100% believing.
And see, that's the problem. I mean, not being skeptical at all. I mean, some of the claims made are pretty far out. I can go along with a lot of the things. I understand talks with Mike and everything about how the brain operates and stuff and all the chemicals involved. But to have zero skepticism.
Nobody's saying that these folks don't have recollections of an experience at all, that the report, what's being reported, what I'm skeptical about anyway is the cause of them, which I think is neurological, physiological, and it's maybe mostly post hoc. But this guy, he mixed together Christian testimony terms with near-death experience. Mm-hmm. So he said, when I spent time with these people and saw the fruit of their lives, well, the fruit of their lives has nothing to do with their report of an NDE. I'm already assuming they're not lying. And mostly there are, like there was that kid, that quote unquote died and went to heaven and saw Jesus, and then his parents wrote a book about it, and he went on and later he recanted it, saying he just knew it made mommy and daddy happy to talk like that, and so he did. I don't know if he's recanted on his recantation or not. I'm not sure. I don't know.
He has. It was all daddy's story.
Okay, so it's all daddy's pressuring him and everything. But but what we're saying here is not that the fruit of their lives proves that they had an actual NDE. What we're saying is they had something that they're recalling, but it wasn't caused by going into some other spiritual realm. There are natural, chemical, and physical explanations for them having those recollections. So already you're seeing these terms getting intertwined, because what he's doing is he's blending the Christian bias he has with the experience these people are reporting in an effort to say this legitimizes the Christian experience, without bringing up the fact that it also legitimizes the experience of Islam or the experience of Hinduism or the experience of Buddhism, that this thing is relegated or influenced by the experience of the individual's personal beliefs, or maybe the symbol culture of his surrounding culture that he grew up in, people grew up in. So I think we should be very careful and look for stuff where he's confusing what's going on, what the question is, with all the Christian evangelical speak, where they're trying to convert people or get them to say, hey, Jesus must be real because this person has a good life now or something.
Yeah, it's like, somebody takes something and they're cured, and somebody else takes the exact same diet and they're not cured, and you blame it on the diet. And it's like the diet has nothing to do with it. It's just a coincidence. Is it working now? What's working? Something not working for you, Al?
Well, Al, we can see your chat, live chat. Is that what you're asking about? We can read you. We can see you.
Toledo only exists in my memories. Yeah, but last I heard from you, you were hot, so you can have it.
I'm kind of disappointed. Tons of Mice had an opportunity to say my third wife was a T-Rex and didn't take it.
He's having issues with his emojis. Huh. Try refreshing it. Stupid thing. All right, let's see what he's got to say here. And again, these guys I make no secret about being Christians.
NDEs are legitimate at this point. I probably didn't 8 years ago.
Yeah. So what things are you skeptical about that you hear?
Probably one of the most surprising things for me, and full disclosure, I work in the Christian publishing space. I mean, this is where I've made my career for the last 11.
Fair enough.
There you go. There you go.
Full disclosure, I work.
I'm as subject to bias as you can get. He might as well just say that.
Works for a Christian bookstore. Yeah.
7 years. And so my introduction into these testimonies was what I would call a traditional heaven NDE or a traditional hell NDE. And then, you go to an IANS conference, because that's what one does when you want to learn more and find more conversations.
And I came across this IANS thing with the NDEs. They have conferences, they have speakers, they have regular hosts and stuff, and that tell their stories and sell their books and give their testimonies, whatever. So you'll hear a lot of these names over and over again. I didn't look them all up, but they do sound familiar from watching the other videos. So if you haven't seen enough NDE videos, there's plenty to watch. Trust me, there's shorts, there's long ones, there's interviews. And then, this guy has 9 points he puts together. But really, you can put it together in a couple that people that are having traumatic emotional experiences and people that have so-called hit rock bottom and are really, really striving for something, and they seek things. So, hello, Dade. How you doing? I'm skeptical of the claim that Dade Murphy is not for the children. That's right. And I walked in hell lady back in high school. She was a real charlatan. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. One of my favorites was the guy that was in hell, and it seemed that all the demons wore scrubs and walked down hallways, and he perfectly described it being in the hospital where he was battling something very, he was juked up on drugs, and they piece things together from their surroundings, and it's some really far out stories, and you've got to take them for what they are. People seeing things, and then people having these incredible stories. They're obviously making up the stories.
You start interviewing people like Mark Anthony, who has written multiple books in this space, and I think for me, I always look for opposing views, opposing voices, or people just having other parts of the conversation. And all of a sudden, my eyes opened. I was like, oh my gosh, there's all kinds of other conversations happening around consciousness outside of these, what I would call these traditional NDEs that I had encountered just in my work through publishing. And so I went down this whole rabbit hole working on this last book of looking at past life memories, pre-life memories, people talking about alien abduction stories, and do they relate to NDEs? At some of the IONS events I went to, encountered psychic.
See, there's the IONS event again. Hello, Jacqueline. Is there life after Jeebus? For some folks there is. For others, not so much. They have reservations for hell. I hope there are some ladies there. Yeah.
What I don't hear them talking about is if there are dogs in the NDEs or dogs and cats there.
Oh, he does.
Oh, man.
he's going to mention that people see dogs but don't seem to see cats.
Oh, that's because they're evil Egyptian pagan.
Cats are gods, so they have their own heaven.
Their own little heaven. That's pretty cool. That's a cool thing to think about. They just make their own little heaven and make it so.
There you go.
And mediums as keynote speakers. And again, things that are very foreign to the space that I operate in on a personal and professional basis, yet they're part of the conversation. And so, some of those things I encountered at the IONS events I went to, definitely skeptical or have some worldview differences with some of those people, which is some of what I encounter in the book. A big focus for me is just discernment, understanding. Can I create, systems and frameworks to help people process and kind of walk through like what's legitimate, like what's the good fruit you can take away from a person's testimony. If there's stuff that's a little suspect, off, different, as I've learned how to operate in this space and try to understand what's going on, I try to build tools to help other people do the same.
All right. Well, I've got a million questions stacking up here. So let's start with this one. How do you decide who to believe? I get asked that one all the time. The other thing that I run across,
and this is back to what I was saying. So many charlatans taint the water, right? They taint the well with their charlatanism. And if there's any credibility to anything supernatural, I think a lot of it is taken away by people who take advantage of people trying to make up fake stuff, rather than do real research, and if it's possible. Now, of course, real research often involves that it's bogus, right? It has no basis, no grounding in reality whatsoever. But these charlatans, they seem to take away from it, and you'd think they'd be a little harder on their own. People are charlatans.
is there some people that I really believe, and then one part of their story comes up where I go, man, I believe like 90%, but
right.
When she just said such and such and such, I'm like, I don't know. So tell me where you come from on some of that.
Like I've implied, like I try to have frameworks, processes, questions, things that I can process these things through. And I'm sure you've seen, Eric, as you've done interviews, the stories people tell vary widely. Some people might say, they encounter Jesus or the Father. Some people might say they encounter a vague, nondescript being of light that tells them a bunch of different things that they come back with. Other people will have, these fantastical experiences, but they don't encounter any entities that specifically identify themselves as God or an angel or this or that. So, things vary widely. But for me, I try to break it down into 5 questions. Like, what is the what is the source? If there's some kind of a being giving them special information or trying to help them understand what they're going through.
There's a special information. Nobody ever seems to come back with any special information, right?
Nothing useful anyway. Nothing useful.
Right. Just saying, a cure, whatever, potable water, so many things that would be good. It would be very easy for a super being, supposedly. Yeah, bring it on. Doesn't seem to occur though.
Does this being identify itself? Is it a warm feeling? Because people talk about, I encountered this light and this love, and it was just all through me. So I do want to look at who or what seems to be the source of the experience. Also want to look at, for me, like, how did this arrive? Like, what's the method of stepping into this space of this experience? Is it a traumatic event, like so many of the near-death experiences, a medical emergency, a car accident? Often somebody just going about their normal day, right, and they encounter something, or even what I'd call a more of a spiritually transformative experience. I've encountered people where they're almost, whether you want to say they're at some kind of a crisis moment in their life, but they're not sick, they're not close to being dead, they're not in a coma, yet they enter into what is effectively a near-death experience. And so, like, those I kind of classify as slightly differently as a spiritually transformative experience, which I stole from Tim Van Lummel. I got to be honest.
Eyewitness accounts of heaven, hell, and the afterlife.
I'm having trouble with what he's saying in that, okay, you're a healthy person, and now you're having a near-death experience. You can't be really healthy and be having a near-death experience because they happen when your heart. Does he mean somebody's going into what you would call an out-of-body experience?
Must be something traumatic, like a heart attack or something.
Yeah, but I can admit, okay, maybe you can go into an out-of-body experience spontaneously or whatever. But near death, you have to have, like, your pulse has to be kind of thready and weak, is kind of what I'm thinking, which means that there is something wrong. It's just not expected or diagnosed.
Yeah, there's a lot of pain in a heart attack, and I think that sets off a lot of things in the brain too. That sudden shock of all that intense pain radiating. As well as, sweaty and cold and out of breath and everything that goes all in with it.
That warm feeling he was talking about, I started to say maybe that was pee. He might have peed his pants.
Understood. Yeah, you relieved yourself during the experience. Spontaneously, not or involuntarily, should we say.
Yeah, oops. Loss of control. But you're not actually dead though. Yeah, that's one of the points. How do you define, actually near death, and what's?
Yeah, I'm going kind of by a rule of thumb. You have your pulse stopped for a short amount of time, and you're breathing. And or you were at least very close to that, and so and just by that fact, there is something I don't want to say abnormal, but not optimal going on in your body, and so the way you report things is going to be a little sus in terms of its convergence with reality.
That's what real pain is. I don't know if I'm acting funny or if the drugs are making me act funny. It's always a toss up because they got so many drugs running through my system, and it's like I'm just not used to it.
Yep. So there's this. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
There's this Parnia guy that's done a lot of research on this, and they placed 1,000 shelves across participating hospitals. And so far, the near-death experiences, I think he followed 101 patients. 9% of them had NDEs, and 2% of them experienced some awareness. They interviewed, one of them couldn't be interviewed. That was 2 people. One couldn't be interviewed because he was too sick, and the other one is the one that our friend in the chat was talking about. He reported a whole bunch of stuff that he saw, and which is, I think, pretty easily explained. But anyway, of the people that identified what was on the shelf while they were, in this NDE, or while their hearts were stopped, and the shelves were placed, close to the ceiling where they couldn't possibly see them. 0 patients told us what was on the pictures. So they've had 0 results out of the 1,000 shelves that they placed across hospitals so far. So it's not looking too good for the NDE people.
And
yeah,
we aren't doubting the experience. Again, all the drugs they're giving you in the hospital, especially in the hospital, or if you're shutting down specific organs and you have an oxygen depletion, your brain is gonna trip out.
And the other thing is that this guy that did report it, he claimed that he felt like he was watching himself from up on the ceiling in the corner of the room, right? Mm-hmm. Looking down and seeing himself. I can't tell you how many times I've done that on mushrooms. And I don't think I was near death, but I kind of maybe felt like I was. But anyway, so they're just, the research is not finding anything other than that there's a hell of a lot.
They claim it.
There's a lot that we don't know about subjective experience when you're under extreme trauma in your brain, and the most significant thing that's happened to me is these falling asleep experiences where you're half asleep and you kind of wake up all of a sudden, or you're, like I heard a tree fall down, a gigantic oak tree. It was like about 300 years old. I heard it fall down out in the forest, and it woke me up. And I've had thunderstorms do this too. And I've always had the sense that I heard the whole thing, right? Some loud noise woke me up, but then I could hear the noise. So the noise was still banging around in my brain, and I was able to remember it in the seconds, that I woke up. And I think I think I was accurately hearing it, and I was remembering a sensation that impinged on my brain, and the sound patterns were still there bouncing around somewhere. And then I picked them up and remembered them and turn them into a proper memory. But it's like I've had this happen so many times falling asleep that, and every time I do, I get up and I think about it for a while and record it, and figure out, what happened. Anyway.
A lot of mornings when I go to wake up, I think there's a period of time where I'm just slowly waking up. I'm still on the sleep side of wakefulness, but I'm waking up. And I think I take in a lot of outside sounds then, and then I wake up and I realize what I'm hearing or whatever. I'm wondering if, like, even with storms like thunder and things crashing down, if there is still like a protracted period of time where you're still waking up, but then you startle awake. And in other words, maybe you don't ever really wake up suddenly. You wake up a little slower than you think you are, and so you take in more input than you realize. Although all you remember is that startled moment, with the most vividness.
Well, the thing is that consciousness itself is only a memory. It has nothing to do with what you're feeling in the moment. So it's always that way. Even as we're awake, we're remembering what happened 200 to a couple seconds, 200 milliseconds to a couple seconds ago. And that's just how consciousness works. Basically, we start to rationally parse what's going on in our world, and we feel that as consciousness, and that's why I don't believe in consciousness. So anyway, another fight for another day.
Let me see if I boo-booed here.
Always bizarre that they're using physical sense terms, but like I can, I have 360-degree peripheral vision, and I don't even have to talk. It's all, spirit to spirit communication, and everything's brighter and more beautiful, whatever you want to say with that. Often they're encountering
that.
Oh yeah, the stories are fantastic. I mean, every story is embellished in its own way. And
I can tell you some stories.
yeah, I mean, if you're going to make up a story about an afterlife, make it a good one, right?
Yeah.
other beings. A lot of folks have a life review. Sometimes they're encountering otherworldly realms, heaven, hell, different kinds of landscapes, cities, buildings.
Yeah, there's always the message there that go back and do good for the world and things like that. Peace and love and joy, and and these are all good things. Where are they coming from, though? Is it something they strived for to begin with, and they finally had an excuse for it, or where? It's kind of interesting where it's coming from.
Yeah, these life review experiences, I have them continually in psychedelic experiences, where basically for the first hour and a half where you're extremely high, there are memories just flipping one after another, just boom, 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 and it seems like thousands of them, and that feels like a life review. And so psychedelics can do that. So you shut off the default mode network, fire up the cortex, and that's just what happens. And that's got to happen in traumatic physical events. So I the life review thing is ho hum. It's like I'm not.
What about people that have damage to the brain but still remember things? Are things shifted around?
Yeah. I don't know. It's same thing. Memories are really cool. How memories work and how many memories you still have. Even when you're an old man, when you just dig around, you just pull a thread, and you get these memories, just unbelievable memories. And if you add psychedelics to the mix, you get some very eidetic memories, and it's unbelievably cool. So your brain is a wonderful thing.
Scott Duke warned you, don't jump in front of traffic. I won't do that.
Okay. Don't go toward the light. Yeah. Deer do that all the time when they cross the road. It's like, hey, I see the light. I'm going toward the light. Crunch.
Electromagnetic fields can affect the brain and memory.
Yes.
Yeah, they make you feel things. I've seen the helmets before.
Yeah, the voices in my brain, the ones that go kill, kill, kill. I hate those.
Yeah, I don't hear voices. Even the Banana Man said seek professional help. But, I'm in my brain, Wilson. Old Barrett phrase, and I'm not okay with my doggy dying. Me neither.
Yeah.
Did you, Dave? Did you see Joe's interview with Banana Man?
No, I saw the thumbnail, but I was.
Everybody go over and check that out. Joe, of course, Ray told him that he knew God exists in his heart. He knows God exists in his heart.
What channel was that on?
On Kentucky Atheist.
Yeah. Speaking of link is in the description for the Kentucky Atheist, as well as he's heading up the ARC protest this summer. You'll also find the panelists links. Click on everybody. There's the merch from Bre down there. There's a link to the original video. All the stuff's in the description. Hello, B.S. Lewis. Saw B.S. Lewis had a
BS 5 years.
celebration, 5
You too.
years. Yeah, way to go, B.S. Enjoyed your new video.
I couldn't
So
get
who
anybody
is
to
it?
jump out of the cake last night.
Isn't all life just a near death? That's what I said at the beginning. Life is out to get you. I mean, you're
that
dodging things all the time.
review of my talk with Ray Comfort, that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's that, and then he's got the. I think there's
Yeah,
a longer. I think there's a longer version. Like I think one of them he's reviewing it, and then the other one's just the talk or something. I don't know.
The actual talk. Okay.
Yeah, I've got one here from 2 days ago. Me being talked at by Ray Comfort at Living Waters and just taking it, which I can imagine why it would be that kind of experience.
He says Ray claims he's going to come to the Ark Encounter to protest. So I don't know.
Well, that would be
Okay,
nice
I
if we
found
did.
that
We
one.
could all throw bananas at him.
I got that one too. So I have them both. I'm linking both of them. Cool.
And then he's still taking donations for the Ark Encounter protest. He did on OE's fundraiser though. They did raise over $1,000 the other day. So OE ended up giving I think $700.
Yeah, he was matching money and everything, and
Yes, and buying
they
subs.
did
That's
really
what he was doing. He was buying subs. He was if you went over and subbed, he donated $10 in your name to the Ark Encounter thing. So.
Well, they did good, and they also got YouTube money too, and everything, and so they did really good on the fundraiser supposedly. Yeah, that's coming up the week after the holiday. If you can make it to Kentucky, everything is free. You just got to get yourself there.
Yep.
So
they got
water and food and everything. So
he's got a huge Airbnb. If you're coming and need a place, you can check with him about he rented an enormous Airbnb for everybody.
Hey, Ray grew a beard.
And there's going to be Seth Andrews is going to be there. That's the first time Seth ever came to the one that we were hosting.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of speakers there. So yeah, the week after the holiday, which is what the 10th or something like that.
I think it's the 12th or 10th.
12th. Yeah,
it's that Sunday. The Saturday before that, Sunday, Seth and Noah are going to be speaking in Cincinnati, and I think Joe is going up there to that speaking event.
So yeah, we get some big names. It's the 10th anniversary, so to speak, of the Ark opening. So they're trying to make a big hoopla and inviting all kind of people to speak. So yeah, there's no tickets or anything like that. You just got to get your butt there.
And give you pizza.
If you can get there, yeah, they'll buy you pizza. They'll give you water.
There'll be water there.
Give you some shade, and
I think they're only going to be about 3 or 4 hours out there. On the protest. I think it's pretty hot.
What they did last year was about enough. A few hours of speaking and wrap things up because people get way too hot. It will be hot. It's summertime in Kentucky.
Yeah, it was great meeting Dave and Mrs. Desk last year.
Yeah, it was great going last year. I'm not making any plans for this year.
No, I don't think.
Don't have the health for it, but I'm glad I went last year and got to meet so many great folks. And yeah, that's one of the best parts of it is everybody's saying hello to each other and showing support, waving your signs at the Ark Park, and then everybody can cool off. So yeah, don't forget links are in the description for all those things. Ark protests. You can go to Joe's Discord as well. He's got separate things for the Ark protest. So go to the Discord, and while you're down below, hit the like button hit the join button if you care to. People have been gifting memberships. Appreciate it very much. You can become a member of the channel and share, do all those kind of good things that don't cost you a dime.
Bye,
Appreciate it very
Moondog.
much.
And I'm sorry about your dog.
Yeah,
I'll be thinking about you.
it's always the toughest part of having a pet.
They said 16 years.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, my cat Thor is sick, and might be losing him. He's 14 years old. I don't know if I'm going to be okay with that.
no.
I don't know. It's way too close with these cats. I don't know.
I understand that. I got 4.
Yeah, I still, every once in a while I see a lump, and I still think the Gato's around, and takes a second, and it's like, oh, we lost the Gato. So, hello, Tori. How you doing? Yeah.
Tons of mice.
Talking about sad stuff, losing pets. Always a sad day. But we managed to move on. We managed to get other pets. It's just part of the deal. My one dog's getting up there, and like I say, we had to put the cat down over the winter time. She was convulsing pretty bad, and it's always a sad time. But we move on. Mike, you'll move on.
With them. Yeah, life is better though with them, even if you lose them.
Yeah. They're only good for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I'm spending a lot of time with Thor now, and that's the
Right.
important part. I've
There
got
you
Thor
go.
now, so there it is. So I'm practicing being really present with my animals now instead of worrying about when they die. So anyway,
Standard
that's
deviations. So they lost
That's what-
their cat 3 weeks ago too. Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no, Samantha.
I had a friend that lost a dog and a cat in the same week. Rough week. I had to put them both down. They weren't acting right. But it's only fair too. I've seen when they're not themselves, and they give you the look like I'm not myself. So it's always very sad though.
I don't know. There's a silver lining. Trump isn't looking like himself lately, so
Yeah, maybe I'll get the wrong IV.
yeah.
No, I didn't say that. Only in Minecraft.
hey, he
Some
did
people-
get booed. He did get booed though the other day. Like he got booed.
Oh,
so
what did he get booed? But he
Yeah.
heard cheers. Like
Oh yeah.
they
Huh?
have, they have noise suppressing headphones on him, and they pipe in cheers. From they pipe it in from the
Isn't it crazy? Oh my gosh,
from
we,
the Tonight Show. Yeah.
we have this crazy old man who can't even accept reality. But they booed until they took his picture down off the Magatron. And
Yeah.
then they started cheering for the national anthem.
And then he
But-
fell asleep. Then he fell asleep.
Yeah, wait till like they're having the big whatever it is the
His big birthday tomorrow.
the
I think
match.
it is.
They're having like I don't know. It's like the kickboxing or whatever it is match at the White House. I mean,
They
like,
did an aerial shot of the White House with the tear up for the ballroom and that whole arena that he built for the match. And the White House, somebody has to stop him from screwing that place up. I mean,
Oh, he already has. I mean, he tore down the whole wing.
pretty soon the neighbors are going to start complaining and say, "Hey, you got to clean that place up."
Well, they took his name down off the Kennedy Center anyway. Though.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I did
That's
too.
a good one.
I can't wait till we can strip his name off everything.
Yep. Even his coins, even his $12,000 gold coins.
I think we started to like where it says 45 and 47 president. We are to have just like a blank spot there.
Hey Mike, Jacqueline wants to know if raccoons like Jesus toast.
Oh, they love it. They love Jesus
Yeah.
toast.
Yeah.
Their favorite thing.
Raccoons like everything.
Everybody around here.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
Yes, absolutely.
Distinctly seem to enter into this liminal space that, in my understanding, it's more of a second heaven space where angels and demons would be quite active. Another thing is people will often come back.
More angels than demons. Well, that's good to know.
No, my goodness, all these active angels and demons.
What did he say about angels? They're
Angels
hanging
and
around
demons. Yeah,
There's
everywhere.
There's
Sorry,
more
just hanging.
angels. Yeah, more angels than demons.
Well, angels hang around in hospitals. We know that. Demons hang around in, at the rave.
Bars.
With special knowledge. Often what is a divine or perceived divine being will often, give them special information to come back with. And then the last.
Yeah, there again, there's no special information.
I love these people who become experts on nonsense.
Yeah, they're claiming there's special information.
Yeah.
We haven't got any special information. Now that would be neat. I mean,
Yes, it would, like something
somebody
besides-
could come. Yeah,
Yeah, like no rumors of wars and crap like that. Just something actually like telling us, like, when the next earthquake is going to hit, or like the tornadoes the other day. The tornadoes the other day hit all across Illinois and Michigan and stuff, and nobody has ever warned us about tornadoes, but we have developed enough technology to do that, and we actually managed. As far as I know, there was no loss of life, and from what I saw, the destruction, they were definitely the fives. Like they were big tornadoes. They did a lot of damage. But there's enough warning system now to where we can predict it, to where that just a few extra minutes gives you time to save your life.
Well, thank you, science.
That's right. All them meteorologists and storm chasers and all them people that do all that crazy work there.
Yeah, those storm chasers, they're another league chasing after those big twisters. Hats off to them. I don't go nowhere. I'd be going the other way, but they drive right into them.
Go back and watch some of that video that was shot of this last bunch. Man, they are really awesome.
Yeah, I saw that. That was incredible.
Part like the return and the aftermath, returning to the body, another space that always is fascinating, because some people are like, and then I woke up on the hospital bed and it was like a non-issue. One of my friends had an experience where
so many of them are a hospital bed. Yeah. Notice the connection here. A lot of drugs, hospital bed.
Like she goes in reverse back into her body, and she calls it, that is like the most traumatic part of her experience, where she describes it, she felt like Jesus had to smooth her spirit back into her physical body. And it was just like she didn't fit right inside her body as she came back.
The description I hear the most on people coming back, and it's not everybody, but the most, is, quote, being slammed back into my body.
Right.
Like, it's not a pleasant experience. It's a bam, you are back, and all of a sudden you are back in pain because you've had an accident or something.
Right.
And it's pretty unpleasant. Finish your last point, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah, no, just the last part is like post NDE lingering effects, the personality shifts, maybe how their faith changes, or, new direction in life, or if it was a disturbing or distressing NDE, like lasting trauma that they have to deal with. So anyways, 9 points. I do sometimes try to weigh the experiences against that and use that as a simple scoring grid. If you have all 9 of those things in your NDE, whether it's a heaven NDE or a hell NDE or something kind of in between, the more of those points I feel, the more legitimate it is. Not to say something that scores lesser isn't a legitimate, and like they may have been sick and they may have died. I feel like the evaluation comes more in the content of the encounter and what they experience. So try to use that as kind of a loose scoring grid. Definitely not as scientific as what Jeffrey Long and others have put together, but this is a nice introduction for my world who doesn't tend to process through this kind of a framework.
Pretty much that if you align with the things that he agrees is an NDE, then it's an NDE.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to bring up psychedelics again. This having these experiences and having it change your life. Basically, under heavy doses of psychedelics, you have that same experience, and it becomes life-changing. And there's something about lighting up other parts of your cortex and shutting down that default mode network that results in psychological changes in your personality and in how you think, basically. And it's something that we really need to study scientifically and quit worrying about this religious bullshit. But it happens the same way with psychedelic experiences, and we have a hell of a lot more of those to report on than we do near-death experiences. But people have been hit in the head, or I had this friend who was struck by lightning twice, and both times he had these amazing spiritual experiences by being struck in the head by lightning. So there you go.
But your life can change simply because you were in an accident and you realized you could have died.
That's right.
Just that part and then having all sorts of trauma and impact and hormones to help you deal with pain or stress or whatever into your system can create a situation where you can make a change in your life. And it doesn't have to be some fourth dimension, 11th dimension, spiritual experience. It just is the fact that when bad things happen, you make decisions that change your life.
Yeah, but don't miss the point, Scott. There is something about these unordinary brain states that have a powerful effect on neuroplasticity and rewiring your life. And
right.
Kafai says God, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, Kafai. But yeah, there's something powerful about that particular psychological tool. And we have those in our toolkit now, and we need to know more about them. They're working mostly on PTSD people, but we've had luck with alcoholics and smokers and a whole bunch of other life-changing situations. So something happens. It really is kind of fascinating.
All right. Now, I've interviewed people, and we're talking about the Christian space here, from every different Christian variety you can think of.
Of course we are.
And here's one thing that a lot of people have told me is they had an experience that weekend. They went to church. Maybe they hadn't been in a little while, but they went to church, and afterwards they grabbed their priest, their pastor, their whatever the clergy's title was that they went by, and said, I've got to tell you about what happened to me, because it's such an amazing, to use the STE thing, it's such an amazing spiritually transformative experience for them. And some people are really put down. They're like, oh, that was of the devil, or some really negative feedback. Have you run into some of that? And what do you think about that? What do we do about that?
And this is something that I run into, is that people that are open to the supernatural are not open really to the supernatural. They're only open to their supernatural, and they're very closed to any idea of anything else. Everything is, the demons or whatever.
Well, if you're already woo, you're going to interpret everything as woo. It's just like,
right. Yeah. You'd think they'd be a little more open to it, though. But it seems you're going to get more of a negative experience out of it.
Woo, all the way down.
And Eric Wander has been hanging around for 9 months. Didn't even know I was pregnant. Thank you very much, Eric.
We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast. We love toast.
All you that are members out there, thank you very much. Supporting the channel. Thank you, Eric.
You know, the problem with the woo stuff is that as long as we believe this bullshit, this spiritual religious bullshit, we're never going to truly make progress in using these tools for good. We're not going to be able to scientifically use them for good as long as we believe in this supernatural, superstitious crap. And that's one of the problems I have with religious belief. We're not making any progress, or we're not making progress as fast as we could.
Well, that's true, but I think for somebody who has experienced something like that and has largely interpreted it in terms of their own religious or spiritual symbology, cultural influence, I think the important thing is if somebody comes to you wanting to express that, they're either, you kind of need to figure out, are they trying to change you, or are they trying to get you to care for them in a certain way? In other words, I've had this experience. It's either troubling or exciting, and I don't know what to do with it. How can you help me? I think sometimes that's kind of the motivation that even somebody coming up to, like a friend saying, I had this experience, or an acquaintance they meet at a party where they, get, they open up a little more because they've had this traumatic experience, and part of the trauma is the memory they're carrying, even whether it's, kind of a broken memory because you weren't in your best condition when you had whatever things happened that made you put all that stuff together. So I think it's important to communicate to people that you believe they have a memory of an experience, but not put it in a way that's condescending or dismissive, because they're either turning to you or they're preaching at you, or going to use it. And so you have to kind of be careful that the people who are turning to you in order to, to have that kind of communal comfort are getting that from you, even though you're a materialistic or physicalist type of atheist. So I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that in there, because if you ever do have somebody start telling you wacky stuff that happened to them, they're either trying to evangelize you, or they want something from you, and you got to kind of figure out what that is. Is it comfort? Is it to agree with them that what they had was real, or maybe that's just something, it's just something they're dealing with, and you don't want to be an impediment to their health and coping.
You want to be compassionate.
Yeah.
And listen. Yeah.
Real quick, I just wanted to mention that because Mikey, I know you mentioned neuroplasticity with psilocybin. One thing that I heard that really, struck a chord with me is they were talking about the neurogenesis, which is like, the new neural pathways in the brain. And so they were treating like, I think it was like Alzheimer's or some type of dementia. And, yeah. There is studies being done right now, but none of them are none of them are done yet. They're not, peer reviewed or published. But the, anecdotal evidence that I've heard was, man, these people were talking about like getting family members, back, like where they were completely gone through the disease. And so there isn't just neurogenesis. There's dendritogenesis. You grow new dendrites, and synaptogenesis with new synapses. So there's a tremendous amount of plasticity going on in the brain after these experiences, and that's why you have to be really careful in what you do in the following month, because it can actually change patterns and behaviors in your life. Yeah.
I mean,
Man,
yeah.
I remember we always talk about cultivation, you know what I mean? And I always was a stickler for, the McKenna method of the heroic dose and stuff like that. But man, lately, I think a lot of people are finding a fighting chance against getting addicted to whatever it may be, like pharmaceuticals, heavy drugs like heroin, meth. What do you still grow it? I mean, I don't want to throw you on blast. I don't want to, dox you or anything, man.
Oh, I would never do something like that. That would be illegal. No, I would never do that.
All right.
I'm going on an assisted trip tomorrow night with an actual professional trip sitter, and scares the shit out of me. But we're gonna dig around in my brain a little bit. So,
talk about a scary place.
Yeah, my counselor. Yeah, it's a scary place. My counselor also is doing all sorts of psychedelic, like psilocybin and DMT research right now, and he's really got some interesting things going on. They're doing that in Minnesota, which is pretty cool that they finally got the okay to do that.
I think it was Colorado that finally completely, decriminalized, legalized. You can actually hold some mushrooms on your person, and completely legal.
Well, Oregon, Colorado, and I think where the hell else? There was another state I think too that did it. And we're talking about doing it in Minnesota, but they're delaying. The legislature is so lazy in Minnesota. It's been on their table for 3 years now, and they haven't voted on it yet. So
yes.
There's hope.
I mean, that's pretty much all I had. Like for someone like Captive Desk, I like Bill Richards because he talks about, if let's say it comes to your state. And man, you can go to, if someone's, professional, you want to get rid of like something that's bothering you, it'd be right around the corner right there. That would be badass. But I mean, no, not quite there yet. But that's the vision I see in a lot of Bill Hicks, his book, Sacred Knowledge. When he talks about it, he's one of the professionals at Johns Hopkins, and I guess that's a goal that they have, that it's legal for not like the street corner, but like a professional around the corner.
Yeah, you can possess it, you can grow it, and all that. Those are the bills we're looking for, and that way it'll be available to people who want to do microdosing protocols, which are really going to be helpful for depression and sleep deprivation and a whole bunch of shit. So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hopefully.
I think so too. I think I'm due for a spanking by Mother Nature with some. I wouldn't even mind some microdoses, man. Because what's the alternative? You're gonna go to the store and get some alcohol,
Yep.
I think it beats all that. But I mean, that's pretty much all I had, man. Thank you, Captain Desk.
All right. Good to see you, Kafai.
Thank you, Kafai.
A lot of younger people, they just go to the hardware store and get cans of aerosol.
I started to say, it sounds like a fire, and it was. I didn't know he was here.
Skeptic Philosophy. Hello.
Hey, Robert.
Yeah, Kafai drops by every once in a while. Kafai is welcome as long as things stay civil, Kafai's all right.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that a lot from my friends who go out and travel and speak and share their testimonies. Yeah, I think the difference is probably coming in different parts of the church or different denominations. You have very conservative denominations.
I'm sorry, I know we just started. Have they all at any point up to this place in the video mentioned other faith traditions?
No.
Okay. I've just, because I had to step out a couple of times, I just didn't want to be unfair. But I would like
is there any Muslim NDEs experiences? Have Muslims and other religions talked about this stuff?
Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, any of those.
There are some, but not as many. Yeah. They're a lot harder to find.
That's because the other ones have more common sense than Christians.
I would not go that far.
Well,
I
it
don't
could be
know.
that their cultures and their religious institutions suppress that or discourage it. Just like the person who says, "Oh, you're nuts" or whatever. They may just be, because when people start having their own individual experiences and relating them, they will diverge from the dogmatic or traditional worldview, and that's troublesome. So some organizations just clamp down on that and put on social pressure not to share, and that could be the problem too. But I'm just wondering if this guy's going to show an awareness of any literature and studies on that, cross culturally, what goes on.
Yeah, and we wouldn't hear about it. Like most Muslims don't live in America, so like there would be a tendency not to hear about the ones that happened in the other religions.
And if you're of a different faith, in a mostly Christian nation, is the fact that you're getting hit with a lot of Christian worldview assumptions and cultural symbols. And was that going to influence your near-death experience, even though you're Muslim?
True.
Nations who are almost anti-supernatural. They're not comfortable with anything kind of supernatural. So a near-death experience just makes them kind of freak out because they've been warned to avoid all of these things in their whole Christian journey, if you will. So I think that certain parts of the church that feel anything like this that is out of the norm will be kind of suspect. Now, to be fair, NDEs are a lot more.
Yeah, anything out of the norm is considered suspect by the church. I mean, anything they don't like, basically. Pick and choose.
More common now in terms of documentaries, films, books. Like, I feel like it's a much more normalized part of our culture and the conversation. A lot of older pastors and Christian leaders just weren't immersed in this when they went to their training or their seminary. It's not like there was a seminary class on, hey, when a parishioner comes up to you and tells you about this near-death experience, here's how you respond to them. And so some of it, I think, is from a lack of training. But like on the more charismatic.
Lack of training. I'd like to see the training for that. Interesting.
There are a lot of pastors in evangelical and especially charismatic churches that have a lack of training. And they are so suspicious of quote unquote elite liberal scientists or whatever. They're not going to have any kind of, there are opportunities to have a psychology or science-based pastoral care, but those institutions are considered too woke liberal for a lot of these evangelical fundamentalists to go to. So they're not going to be getting the kind of exposure to literature, like Mike has studied and others have studied about the, altered brain states, even the sociological experience of NDEs and things like that. So, yeah, lack of training is a big problem.
Yeah, and they love to invoke demons and Satan for most experiences. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's the worldview that's going to be interpreted under.
Yeah. What does that mean with women learn doing things that men just totally miss? I have this Lexus and I had it for a year, and it's a SUV and it's got a gate that goes up. And my daughter-in-law was out there. She was loading luggage in the back. I had it open, and then she closed it, and she didn't push it down. And I'm like, which? Because it turns out there's a button on my SUV that I never looked at and didn't know I had. I always pushed it down manually instead of using the button that just automatically does it. But she found it right away.
I think it's demonic. You need to burn her at the stake.
Yeah, I got to burn her at the stake, man. Which she did it without touching it.
Amazing.
So funny, Mike.
We had a good laugh over that one. I owned the car for a year and I didn't know there was a goddamn button on the door to close the door. Because I'd never read a manual. Never.
Tons of Mice says my NDE. I was floating above the bed. I wasn't in the bed. And dog eating an ice cream cone gave the directions to the police department. But the bands or the bars of the jail were just jello. So I left and went.
Tons of Mice is on fire tonight.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, I've had that one too. Mice.
Or like Holy Spirit experience focused sides of the church, there's a much higher comfort level of, well, of course you could experience something like that because supernatural things are a normal part of our Christian walk or life or experience. So I feel like the response you get is largely going to vary somewhat. It could be by the age of your pastor and their exposure to this kind of content, and also what side of the church that you're in. Again, in the hyper-conservative sides, they just don't have a comfort level or a grid to know what to do with this. Like personally, I came up in a very conservative side of the church. And so again, kind of my discomfort stepping into this space. And now like this is as normal as the water I drink and the air I breathe. So I built a grid and an understanding over many years. But yeah, that's a very normal response that a pastor would be uncomfortable. But and even for years, you had medical doctors who would kind of discount and be uncomfortable when people would come back and share their experiences. And I've read a lot and talked to a lot of doctors now where it's actually normal to have some level of training and encouraging nurses and doctors to talk to their patients and let them process a little bit and be more accepting of these testimonies they feel like they need to share rather than dismissing it. We've not had those.
They don't, and they've done studies on these things, and it seems like most people, except for the end of lifers, the ones that know it's coming, are at peace with it all, and but the near-death things, they don't seem to be happening. So, and there has been studies on them. More end-of-lifers without anything wrong with them, just running out of steam, versus these NDEs that, again, are very suspect.
Those kinds of conversations,
Webster,
much what I've seen inside the church yet, but I
Ed.
think it'd be a helpful conversation to have, because when people feel like that you're rejecting their testimony, sometimes it makes them feel like they don't belong in the church or in your church anymore, and it's very hurtful. And so we should be in a position to take these folks seriously and listen to what they have to share, because that's an important part, I think, of them integrating the story, the experience into themselves. And without being able to share and process, I feel like it's very hard for them to do that.
Absolutely.
Especially since the church is why they're primed to have these experiences anyway. Like that's the main thing, like if you see Jesus and stuff like that, you're primed to see Jesus because of the church. So like, it's kind of like really bad that the church would discourage it when the church is actually causing the actual, maybe not the experience may be happening because of brain stuff, but what you're seeing in your near-death experience is because of the church.
A lot of these people, they told me they never went back to church.
Right.
And that's really sad. I had the opportunity a few months ago to be on a podcast called Planters.
Okay.
And so these are people, young people starting up churches. And it was basically here's a quick hour of training on this thing. Here's how, when somebody does walk into your office and says this, here's some ideas of how you can deal with it. Because the fact is, these things are real. Although you
the facts are these things are real.
Well, the experience is real. You're just really not seeing Jesus.
Use the word conspiracy right after it, but we both believe these things are real. I think we have some common ground there.
Absolutely.
Training is something that just needs to happen. doctors are doing it. In fact, and you've been to IONS conferences too, you mentioned doctors, nurses, they can go to IONS and get credit hours for the annual training that they need to have every year. So some of that is happening, and I think we need to do most or more of it, I should say, with our clergy as well, get them up to speed.
Ryan
Tons
says
of mice has had a part 2 and a part 3 of that little NDE story. So
about glimpsing the hereafter or giving credence to possible resurrections. There's something that's an afterlife, and people go to. They believe in it.
Okay,
yeah, you got to buy the
what?
whole. You got to buy the whole thing that your soul can be halfway in and halfway out of your body, or that as soon as your heart shuts down, your brain hasn't shut down yet, then your soul starts heading for heaven, and then it says, "Whoops, we're going to come back now," and it's like that whole thing is kind of on a shaky foundation, I think.
Yeah, my mom won't let us read. Like, she's signed the thing that we're not allowed to resuscitate her. It happens to her, and the reason why is because she doesn't want to be like halfway heaven's gates and then somebody jerk her back down here. I mean, that's pretty much what she told me. She was like, "I'll be already halfway to heaven. Y'all not pulling me back down in here."
Shit.
But what if somebody in a different religion turns out to be right? She might be on her way to hell.
Yeah, Muslim hell.
Nothing against your mom. Nothing against your mom.
I know. I heard Muslim hell sucks too. Like, when they do the what is it? Where you're like betting on which one you're going to go. What is it? The wager, Pascal's wager. So remember they used Christopher Hitchens say, should you go for the best heaven or to avoid the worst hell?
Yeah, is it just a fear thing, right? Mike is starting to creak.
Yep, I'm creaking. Went for a walk the other day and hurt my foot. Like the first 5 steps onto the path, my son said, "Oh, you got to warm up," and I said, "I thought that's what we were doing. It's warming up." Just got out of the car and went for a walk. Right? It's like Jesus. Yeah, it sucks.
Take when somebody comes up with something from their NDE, they seem very credible. They've been through your 9-part checklist or whatever, but there's something that seems off doctrinally. And I'm going to throw out terms like reincarnation or people talking about their past life regressions. Yep. What do you make of that? And how do we handle that?
See, this is even about control.
Yes.
They're acknowledging that people will say that this isn't right because of whatever, but now they're going to try to engage in it as well.
Yeah, and they're like I don't think that the near-death experience is any supernatural thing to it, but like I'm not going to tell somebody that they didn't have this experience. Now they're going to tell them that they, didn't have it, or that they're lying, or that the demons were involved, or.
Well, it's like most people right now these days really don't put that much credence into dreams. You'll sometimes ask, what that dream meant or whatever, but now you're having experiences put together by the mind that are outside of sleep, outside the normal experience of dreams, and so people do wonder, how real is this? And I can see where that would be a big issue. But just come out and say, "Oh yeah, that's real. That's God. That's Jesus." And but you're having a non-doctrinal experience or whatever. So I guess it must be the devil fooling you or something. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, like
inappropriate to me. It really crosses a line of. It's just a new level of religious gaslighting that we give privilege to.
Yeah, like Jacqueline said, you get caught in a loop, and there's more people, which kind of doesn't make sense of reincarnation, and there's a lot of problems with it. People want to live forever though, and if reincarnation's it, then that's one way to do it.
I mean, these things are, like we said, these things are like neurology, related to neurology, like in our brain. And to think that you go, like the sad part, to go to a pastor over something like that, like to understand your experience, like, he's an expert in bullshit. That's all. So.
Hello, Martin. Good to see you.
My gut reaction, because I try to process everything through my own Christian worldview lens, is like, oh, that violates scripture. So it would give me concern. In terms of we'll start with the past life memories. I enjoyed going down this rabbit hole. Obviously, the work at University of Virginia Perceptual Studies is really the core place to look for long-term scientific research into the space. And Ian Stevenson spent his whole career traveling the world, documenting these cases. What's fascinated me about his work, and here's what I do focus on a lot in that part of the book, a lot of the work he did was study cases kind of in the third world, outside.
And therein is the problem. You're studying cases in areas that don't have the technology for testing. What a coincidence.
Of the Western world, if you will. There are a handful of cases, or a number of cases from the States, but the majority of them did come out of countries where reincarnation was more of a normalized part of the faith, as you might say, in that part of the country. Does that taint his research a little bit? Maybe. I mean, that's where he was just getting the stories from. But they did encounter legitimate circumstances of children, usually between the ages of 2 and 7, recounting memories that were not their own. So for me, like, in trying to wrestle with that, and again, I'm trying to connect dots.
There you go, Scott. There you go.
Children tell some fantastic stories too.
But they finally caught up to somebody with a different faith system.
Children are very perceptual when they're telling the story. They can tell exactly what you want to hear. They're pretty good at that.
And connect data points. So, like, one of the things that fascinated me about the age range is that there's this with children who I would say are spiritually open. I feel like a lot of us are very spiritually open between 2 and 5, 2 and 7. A lot of us will report seeing ghosts or spirits or things when we're young. Like I grew up in a haunted farmhouse. Like between the ages of 3 and 4, we had
haunted.
The skeptic grew up in a haunted farmhouse.
So does he believe in that the ghosts were in the farmhouse? I really want to know.
Well, I mean, he's probably been told that since he was a child. Can you imagine?
Had all kinds of
being a kid and being told that the house you live in is haunted.
Yeah, we used to have spook stories in our farmhouse too.
Yep,
like Grandma and Grandpa's picture was on the wall and the eyes would follow you.
He's going to say the chair moves around. Yeah.
Of weird encounters in this house where I was like, this place seems haunted. Strange things, like the car out in front of the house, the horn would blare, the lights would flash. This is before the days of key fobs, and alarm systems being in every car. And it only happened in front of our house. It didn't happen anywhere else, not at Grandma's house, not at the grocery store, just in front of our house. And we had a weird thing that would happen in the kitchen every night. We had this kitchen dining room combination and this little table with 4 chairs. And every night the chairs would be under the table. And in the morning, one of the chairs would be physically moved to the back window overlooking the backyard, like somebody had been sitting in it watching out the back window. And no matter what we did, no matter how we rearranged the chairs, they would always move. The other thing that I encountered, I remember 2 distinct instances of waking in the middle of the night and being scared because I saw kind of glowing, floating almost looked like orbs with faces, if you will, and they were just menacing and scary. And I just remember like encountering one in my bed, and it just kind of floated out in front of my bed for a while. I remember pulling the covers over my head and then looking out later, and it was gone. And then we had another encounter where it was just this kind of menacing face going back and forth in the doorway, looking at me. Clearly, there are some strange things happening in that.
Okay, so spiritual beings can move physical chairs, and if you are a spiritual being, why the fuck are you gonna have to stand in a chair and look out a window?
Yep.
So how old is he when he's telling these stories?
7, I think.
I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like he probably
Growing
had
up.
a big brother who liked to crack on
That,
people.
or you go to bed at night and maybe they clean the kitchen and move the chairs to get them out of the way so you can sweep and don't put them back. You know,
Ryan, look at Ryan's.
the thing is, with children, they have less of a, what they call it in Bayesian probability, they call it background information. There's a lot of things they don't know how to account for. So if you hear a noise, see something out of the corner of your eye, moving across the barn or moving across the house, you know, that could be an owl, you know, and you don't really know what an owl looks like, especially from the corner of your eye as it flies across the barn. You can interpret that as a ghost, or you can have somebody interpret it as a ghost for you, and you're impressionable. And instead of saying, "Oh, that might have been some animal or something," and just leave that possibility open for this poor 7-year-old.
I had two amazing ghost experiences in my life, and one of them was seeing my father-in-law right after he died walk into our room, and it was I was asleep, right, and I was probably dreaming, but it was so stunning that it just really, really stayed with me. It was horrible. The other one when I was about 11, and it was a really complicated thing, but it lasted for like 3 nights right around the time my Uncle Johnny and Auntie Ellen came from Montana to visit us, and Uncle Johnny died. And there was like a whole mystery involved in his death, because apparently my Auntie Ellen stayed with his body for 3 days in their camper, and she was all beat up, and there was a whole bunch of weird shit going on. But anyway, there were his dog every night would howl after he died. Like in the middle of the night, it'd start howling like crazy. And then my brother was walking through he was sleepwalking. My dad caught him. But then I heard these horses clopping around the yard, just clop, clop, like the 4 horsemen. And it was just stunning. And of course, it was my neighbor's horses we found out that had gotten out. and so all this stuff came together as one of the spookiest experiences I ever had as a kid. And if I were a believer, I could read shit into those memories that you wouldn't, that would go on and on. And it's just, I mean, if you're already set up to believe in this supernatural bullshit, memories can really fuck with you. I mean, you can really come up with some bizarre things. Yeah.
Sorry. And confirmation bias. Like, you count all the stuff that like supports what you, because I mean, I went through all of that when I was practicing witchcraft. Like, there's just so much confirmation.
Oh, yeah.
Bias. Anything that happens that is supportive of your narrative, you tuck that in there and put it in there, and then you don't ever do anything with anything that doesn't support it. So.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that. The Castaneda experiences that we had, during our LSD days, it was just unbelievable. Some of the spooky shit we came up with, and it was mostly tuning our awareness to our environment to the point where we saw the signs we were looking for. And
I did not like LSD. Like I did not like LSD. I mean, I knew I knew this shit wasn't real that was happening. You know what I mean? Like while it was happening, and I was like, just stop. Just make it stop. I remember looking in the mirror one time, and my face looked like it was melting, like it was made out of
or
something like that.
Yeah, they tell you not to look in the mirror.
Yeah, definitely no look in the mirror. I just quit doing LSD. That helped a lot. I ended that.
That house, and so back then I thought the house was haunted. I might imply now that I think it's there was a level of demonic manifestation or oppression happening in that space, and a lot of time those.
Oh, it was the demons. There you go.
The demons came out. Okay.
The demons moved the chair. Yeah. Nothing better to do. That's another suspect thing. You know, beings that have transcended the physical body, and they can move a chair. Really? Okay. You know, quite an accomplishment. I mean, it just seems like they haven't acquired any superpower or anything like that. They're just in another trap.
Circumstances, it seems to impact the youngest person in the group or the household because they're the most vulnerable. But all that to say, in my mind, when I started looking at the past life,
vulnerable, strike, add impressionable.
Yeah.
I don't mean to the demons. I mean to the people around them who interpret everything in terms of demons and angels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scaring these kids to death. This crap.
memories, just the age range that it's happening is very similar to when I was young and encountered things in my haunted farmhouse. And so the theory that I put forth in the book is that I do wonder if what's happening in these past life memory situations, if it's occurring with children that are in that spiritually vulnerable age, are these demons or familiar spirits implanting this information about these past lives into these children's minds?
There you
Oh
go.
my God. They'll be doing exorcisms on them next.
Yep.
Like what, first of all, if you're a Christian, where do you think ghosts come from?
Yeah. What are they about?
Yeah, I mean, like, what does God just let people just die and their soul just wanders around on the planet for what reason? Like, that was something that my mom just absolutely refused. Like, she refused to entertain the idea of ghosts because she was like, that makes, God would not leave somebody stranded here. So we didn't. She would have never bought into no ghost stories.
Sorry, I didn't want to pop my
hope-
pop in the microphone.
I hope doctors are at least if they are going to be trained to take these accounts and stuff, they will tell people that, this is something normal that happens, like if your brain goes without oxygen or whatever, or you go through a traumatic experience.
I think they do with proper counseling and everything, but all too often though, I mean, somebody just drops right over. They don't have any forewarning. When I go, there's always support people, and they give you cards for support people and everything, somebody to talk to and everything. They're pretty good about it these days. As far as communication goes, yeah.
Hopefully they get to them before these people do.
Yeah. I gotta say though, unfortunately, most people don't have time to prepare. So, that's a sad part of life is when, especially somebody in the prime of their life drops over. It's really hard. But things are better than they ever were. We are taking care of people like never before. And if you need some help, reach out. There's all kind of social programs and everything. At least somebody will pick up the phone and talk to you. Yeah.
If your insurance allows for it, anyway.
Right. And there's all kind of ways around stuff. Yeah.
Where's the music coming from?
Is that an ice cream truck?
We've got ice cream.
Okay.
Not
ice
too far.
cream.
Ice cream. Go give me some.
Yeah, I
want
think of
some.
Eddie Murphy going, ice
Yeah.
cream, ice cream.
The $7 ice cream bar. Yeah, heck yeah.
I wish I had an ice cream truck here.
Yeah, we get them. We get it pretty regular because they're down the street, so everybody comes through. Same song. I had a buddy that drove one for a while. Pretty annoying. But yeah, it's very expensive to get anything off the ice cream truck anymore. So, crying shame. And I got a cul-de-sac out front, so he used to roll around the cul-de-sac and play an extra tune for me.
As a ploy, a push, whatever, towards reincarnation. So that's the theory I put forth in the book. It's not based on a bunch of crazy long research. It's drawing a correlation between the ages of those children and the ages of what I experienced as a young child. But again, as part of this consciousness conversation, it's something we have to take seriously and deal with. I'm sure I'll wrestle with that in future books and try to develop some ideas further. But that's the direction of how I approach that.
Do you personally believe that we, as some sort of a spirit self, lived in heaven or with God before we came here to earth?
I mean, if you look at scripture
What?
talking about
What?
No.
Therein it makes no sense with an increase in population, though. I mean,
Yeah.
That would suck, wouldn't it? Like if we lived in heaven first and then we came down here and then we end up going to hell.
There are people that
Yeah,
totally believe
yeah.
that. Yeah,
Oh my God.
that babies
is-
were created in heaven and then just, I guess, kind of whooped into the fetus, at some point.
Yeah.
So God is meeting out the souls day at a time, just like he's got like trillions of them up there and he's just throwing them down here every day.
Yeah, something like that.
And half of them won't make it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice God. Nice.
And he's like, well, throw this one down here and they'll be in Muslims because they don't
Yeah.
even have a chance.
Okay, so this guy right here, what's his PhD in?
Nonsense.
Well, because he said he's going to do some research and come up with theories. So surely he has a PhD or something so that he can do the proper statistical analysis and search for confounding variables and things like that.
I will
Well,
give
he
him
goes-
credit for using the proper language, though. He said correlation. He used the word correlation instead of causation.
Yeah, I gotta look this guy up. What's his name?
Sean? Was it Sean?
Sean Tabbitt.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
let's see.
He works for a publishing company. He didn't say anything about his credentials.
He seems genuine. Like I don't take him as a like with some of his book though. I don't really get like vibes from him of like grifter. Of course, that's just my feeling.
I mean, yeah,
Well, I'm not saying
they're
he's a
selling
drifter.
they're selling
I'm saying
Christian
he's
books.
unqualified to be
Yeah.
talking about this stuff because I don't think he's incorporating a whole lot of the literature that's out there, like all the neurology and cognitive science stuff that goes into dealing with a brain that goes down to nothing and then gets revived, or cardiology, anatomy, physiology. There's so much you got to know.
Well,
And he needs to at least be conversant and competent in one part of it.
He has he has no degrees listed at all.
and
he's just
reading
a
a
public-
peer-reviewed neurology paper is not something most people could probably do.
He apparently sits on the board and he decides who gets the book deal, and they're pushed behind the book deal and who doesn't.
So I just think he was sitting on the board and looking at all these book deals and going, I could cash in on this.
I don't know. I don't get grifter vibes from him. No, I think he sincerely believes this stuff.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
that, implying that God knew us before we were born. I don't know that, like, in my worldview, I don't know that I think we necessarily live before we are born. I would interpret the scripture about God knowing us to be that he know, if he's infinite, knows the past, present, and future, that he knows of our life and that we're coming. I don't know that I would support the idea that, you know, we were pre-incarnate in heaven. Although I've heard people talk about that, you know, they're remembering their time before they were born or remembering their times in between lives. I haven't spent as much time kind of investigating that side of the consciousness conversation. The first time I'd really encountered it was at an IANS event where a gentleman shared about, after practicing TDM, he all of a
the IANS events, and they do practice transcendental meditation every day to help achieve
So he just discounts
the other
all
side
shit
or
that
whatever.
don't agree with him. Like he just discounts everything that doesn't already fit his.
He's very
disposed
he's
world.
very predisposed. Yeah, very. He's all in it. It's like the fourth, fifth time they've mentioned INS, and yeah, he's a big name too. The conference or whatever. So yeah, beware. They're all selling some, and that's my thing. There's big money to be made. He said it himself. He's got decades of security. You know, putting out these books. People buy these books, so why? You know, why are they buying them? They're really searching for something, and I'm sorry, but a lot of the stories are not credible. They don't seem like they're credible people, and they're retold by people like this that give them credibility. But I have a lot of problem watching these stories.
sudden started having all of these pre-life memories is how he described them. So my gut feel now, I don't believe that we necessarily exist before, but maybe I'm a little jury out.
There's a lot we don't know. Let's both admit that. That's fine. One of the things that I think is when people have a classical NDE, okay, and they feel like because of what they experience, they feel like they've learned everything about heaven or about the way things run or the way it is. But my feeling is they have been to the front step of the front door and had a teeny glance in.
Right.
And it's easy to take things when we have a little glance, to take things out of perspective and to think we know it all. But maybe that little glance that was one thing is being interpreted as reincarnation or as some of these other things that just don't seem to drive that well. What do you think about that philosophy?
Well, it's like Mike was saying, that your brain kind of does a flip book thing. It's looking at things. It's remembering things. It's putting things together. It's doing some weird things.
See, this guy, the host, is getting defensive about people having experiences that contradict what the doctrine says about heaven. And so I'm thinking that although he doesn't really give any real example, that he's just trying to come up with some defense against people whose NDE diverges from the dogmatic view, and they're just basically saying, "Oh, you got it wrong because you think you know everything. You really didn't see that much."
Where the hell?
Where in the hell, indeed?
Where the hell is my airdrop? Oh, anyway. Anybody want a free cat named Snack? A free shipping free cat.
A freaking cat named Snack.
I have 4 cats already. That's enough.
Free shipping.
Shipping, go ship a cat.
Just Put a stamp by it right on there.
I'm going to send him to Abu Dhabi.
There must be this one person in Abu Dhabi who keeps getting these cats shipped to him, and they don't know why.
Yeah, that little dog. Wasn't it a little dog on the Garfield cartoon that he kept sending to Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, a little Odie or Obi or
Odie, yeah.
Odie. Yeah, he was mean to Odie.
Yeah.
Is being reinterpreted as reincarnation, or
The fact that people are only getting a glimpse
sure, okay.
of heaven, that's number one that I'm curious if you agree with. And number two, if that's the case, would it be easy for them to come back and assume some things that maybe aren't?
Right. Well, you know, obviously there's great variation across the many testimonies you and I have heard through the years.
In religion, that's all religion is assuming things about heaven or the afterlife that you really don't have any grounds to. Even if you try to be exclusively rely on the Bible and the Bible only, there's still all these ideas about heaven that just come from people's anuses that
Yeah, because the Bible doesn't really describe heaven that much, does it? Like, it doesn't.
No, you're right. It doesn't. But there are people who have these fixed ideas, and even that they've gotten from spiritual people that they trust about heaven that have no biblical, justification whatsoever.
Yeah. Like why would God?
All I'm saying is the established religions do the same thing that this guy's accusing the NDE patients of.
Yes. Why would God pay streets with gold? Why is gold valuable to a god? I don't understand that.
Well, that's because of the symbolic content. It's streets of gold because gold means glory and honor and majesty and everything.
But I mean, that's just so silly that the stuff that matters to us is what would be involved in that pearly gates,
right,
all that shit, and but wouldn't giving somebody a peek into heaven sort of be like fucking with their free will? Because we hear all the time about how the reason why God can't show himself to everybody is because that would discount our free will. So if he lets somebody peek into heaven, is that not discounting their free will? Doesn't that affect
I guess a believer would just say, well, God gets to show whoever he wants to heaven, and so he can do what he wants to, so it's okay. But
right. Yes.
Yeah, that part bothered me too. A peek into heaven. It's
yeah. I mean, if he wants to give the non-believers a peek into heaven, so that maybe they would, we would see the error of our ways. But why is he just picking out certain people to get to see into heaven?
That always raises. As I said, it always raises the question. Why this person and not that person, and that's something they have to grapple with too. Why did I survive and the other person didn't? So,
I think big picture, I see there's a lot of consistency across what's happening in the midst of a tradition.
No, there's not, and that's another problem. There is no consistency at all. And watching them, they're completely different. And very, very, very few similarities. They tie similarities together, but the rest of the story is very, very different.
Show my screen, Dave. Free cat, free shipping.
There you go.
So he's sticking his tongue out at me.
Put a stamp right on there.
That's a sack. Abu Dhabi.
They'll have an experience, if you will. Yet there's a lot of variety that seems tailored to the individual. Almost God intentionally is meeting them with what they need to base, because often they're coming because of a traumatic situation. And so, again, consistency.
Yes. Yeah. Finally, we agree They're coming from a traumatic situation and they're reaching for something.
And also variety almost tailored to the person for what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to the limited perspective idea, on the one hand, I feel like people are often overwhelmed and they'll fixate on certain things. Like people often say, I encountered Jesus. It was all love. Love radiated through me. And they they'll focus on that one point or whatever was significant for them. You know, some people encounter their beloved pets in heaven, usually dogs. I don't know why it's always dogs. I only have 1/3.
There you go, Scott. Mostly people encounter their dogs.
Very, very right. Well, because cats are gods. So
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in their own heaven.
they have their own.
They're ruling over it.
Your dog is waiting for you. Isn't that sweet?
And cat encounter in heaven from somebody, but again, they're encountering things they need to feel comfortable. I've had people talk to me about smelling grandma's chocolate chip cookies or grandma's tapioca pudding, things that just gave them ease as they're trying to process what's going on. The place I'd probably step into next with that is, at least with Jeffrey Long's work, like he talks about how based on all of his surveys, it takes about 7 years for somebody to kind of come to terms with kind of their NDE, maybe have it somewhat integrated into themselves by that point. One of the things that I've seen, working with people who are brand new, they've just had an experience, or people who've, been processing for decades, there does seem to be this almost circumstance of ongoing revelation or ongoing understanding. I jokingly describe it as our finite brains cannot handle the download that we kind of got that they got on the other side. I think that's where it can be a little confusing. Early on, I feel like people are still so processing the experience, they struggle to tell it. And then as they sit with it longer, not that a lot of the testimonies change, because with the research, they tend to be very consistent across long periods of time. But see, I think that can be one part where it can be very confusing, where just even working with authors who've written more about what they experienced, as they're further from it, it does seem to kind of expand. And so, what maybe somebody understood early on, like, a year after the experience versus 5 years or 10 years, I feel like it can not change in terms of content, but they just understand it better because they've chewed on it, they've wrestled with it more. So I feel like that could maybe change some of the interpretation, the understanding.
They've read a lot more. They've heard a lot more. They've heard from other people.
Yeah, and memories are made up. Like we know that like huge swaths of our memories are like created in our minds. But I hope if God ever gives me a download, I hope it's like quantum physics. Please go ahead and download me some quantum physics. I would like to wake up tomorrow and know shit about quantum physics that I don't know. Then I might believe this crap.
There you go. See? Easy enough. Prove it to Robin.
Yes.
Hey, Regios, how you doing? If I didn't see Jacqueline. Hello.
Or you can just download where Jimmy Hoffa's body is, because I feel like that I would be famous if I was the person that discovered that.
Yeah, we don't have the Gato anymore. We adopted the Gato and never again.
Yeah, if people are going to have these NDEs, why don't they do something useful, like find his body? That would be.
Yeah, that's the thing with any supernatural claims. It's what greater good are they serving?
Or a missing person, like
Right.
how many people right now are missing, like, and download that.
Right. Yeah, they get special knowledge, but their special knowledge is just peace and love and joy to everybody, and that's a good message. but it's not groundbreaking. It's nothing new, and doesn't help humanity.
Or
It
description.
does seem to change. Does seem to change people though. They seem to be, they seem to get happy. So
Hey guys, I'm gonna expire now.
yeah.
Well,
I have to.
okay.
I have to disappear.
Have fun.
Okay, we'll see you guys next
I'll
week.
text you tomorrow and
Okay, let me know. Okay, and I can't do it tomorrow night because I'm busy with my
that's
thing.
tomorrow. Oh, I thought you did tonight. Okay, well I won't text you tomorrow. Then
Well, no, you can text me tomorrow, but I mean I can't do a meetup with him tomorrow. So
no.
anyway, okay.
Oh yeah. I can see her saying. Yeah.
Okay, see you guys. Bye.
All right,
Bye,
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah. It's 8 o'clock anyways. We rolled through more than half of this video. Very impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah. Admittedly, they're Christians. They believe in NDEs. Sadly, this person lost his wife, and she did report experiences of looking down and stuff like that, like a lot of them do. Nothing really new, nothing really groundbreaking. Like I say, I wanted to look at what they were saying, and especially from a Christian viewpoint. You mentioned Christians and atheists, and somewhere along here in the rest of the video. If you want to watch the whole video, the link is in the description, as well as everybody that was on the panel tonight, as well as all the goodies. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share and do all those good things while you're down there. You can also join the channel. And I wanted to thank the people. We have Logan, who's been a member for 13 months.
Got like 16 new members tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, Robin Webster gave captive desk memberships. Jess Spear gave captive desk memberships. Left-handed Jedi. Regios. There we go. Regios. We got super chats. Regios. And member that's hanging out for 9 months. Didn't even know they were pregnant. Haha. And my favorite is what would Bigfoot do? So thank you very much for your support in the channel. Robin, you gonna be on tonight?
No, I've been like really lazy like this past week, so like I don't know.
Hello, Robin. There's another Robin out there.
I haven't been not any mood to stream for some reason. I don't know. I take it in spells.
And we've got a goddess. Ryan is out there. Hello, Ryan. Good to see you.
I do want to bring up. I do want to bring up something though. The Pentagon this week removed 180 religions from the list of accepted religious faiths that the Pentagon recognizes. So, and like I got a lot of pushback from people who said this didn't amount to much. I think it is a big deal. I think it, as for a country that's built on religious liberty, supposedly, or whatever, the fact that we are not going to recognize, like Wicca is a religion that was actually, atheist is a religious. Well, they kept agnostic, but they removed atheist from the which isn't a religion, but it is a religious position. And so you can, so you're going to have, they've removed 180 faiths. They took the one thing they did that might turn out the funniest of all of it is they took the LDS church off of the list of Christian faiths, which pissed off the LDS church pretty bad. But yeah, 108, like Wicca and Unitarian Universalist was one of the ones that was removed. So, just another instance of where they're just turning the temperature up on the bull and frog.
Well, I'll bet if the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints contributes enough money to the MAGA president,
they'll probably
get put back on the Christian list.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Doug, what's his name? He's Hegseth's pastor, because everybody was like, oh, well, they just had so much stuff that they were having to do and everything. Well, what this means, though, is that they can't have this on their dog tags. And like, if I was in the military, I would want atheists on my dog tags, because I would not want, I wouldn't want somebody praying over me if something happened to me, or doing like, and it's just like, they get rid of all the religions that don't, suit them, and they'll probably clean it out again, the list again, if they feel the need to.
And all the names they don't like and everything, all the pictures they don't like.
Yeah, because I go to Unitarian.
Yeah.
I go to a Unitarian Universalist church sometimes, like because they accept anybody, and I'm an atheist, but like they have like it's a good community, and they don't preach they don't preach like afterlife, and they don't preach supernatural, or the one I go to does it. So.
Well, they don't list atheists, but they do have under, apparently this is just according to Gemini, I guess. They do have a no religion and other religions category. Apparently agnostic, Baha'i, Buddhism, Hindu, Islam, Judaism, Sikh are the recognized non-Christian faiths. Yeah.
And then there's like a whole bunch of Christian ones, like a whole bunch.
Oh, yeah.
But, it's just, like I said, it's like when, the frog doesn't notice that it's in the boiling water. If you drop it into boiling water, it's going to notice it. But as you're, if you start him out in just regular water and you just keep turning the temperature up a little bit, when does the frog notice? It's just...
Yeah, this is once again the thing. Adding them to an accepted list is one thing, but taking them off really, to me, just flies in the face of the First Amendment, because they are regulating or respecting a religion. In other words, they're saying who's official and who's not, who's accepted and who's not.
And I actually looked for somebody of one of these faiths, because it did seem like some like people that were talking about this affected them. Like I saw some stories about that. So like I do look for somebody to take this to to court. And I feel like that the Supreme Court, even with our idiot Supreme Court that we have now, that they would uphold this, uphold the people's right to have the religious things on there. I think they would. Anyway, I'm guessing. But it's just it's another chance for the other people, and discount other people's experiences, or be different. Don't be different. We don't want you in the military if you're different than us.
Okay, now there are American Humanist Association chaplains. They're not recognized. Humanists aren't. Of course, you mentioned Wiccans. They're not mentioned, or they're disenfranchised. And then just anybody who has an odd faith, may not get whatever proper care chaplains are supposedly offering. So anyway, it's sad.
Yeah. And it's all for nothing. It really is. That's what's sad about it. It's wasting money. Well, Mike was saying that he got like 900 subs. We told him keep on going. Want to get to 1,000? It's only one way to do it. And, Mike hasn't been real busy lately, but look out. He's been studying, what is it, mollusks or something? So.
Mollusks and liver, and he's interested in, I guess, their evolutionary development, and where they, every time you get a new species, way back when, it adds to the vocabulary, I guess, of the genetic code. And that affects future evolutionary development. And it also schools us on, well, how could this particular set of genes that do this in our human body, how could that have come about? Well, you start looking at other mammal species and other species prior to that and other groups prior to that. And so he's just trying to see what he can gain from studying those.
So stay tuned, and of course, Robin, you never know. Robin's on all over the place. Any plans, Robin, or is it still open?
No, I'm not doing that right now. Like I said, I've kind of took a break. I've got a lot of stuff going on with Pain Room.
Okay.
Travis is going to build a school in Uganda. Then he's put me in charge of like the fundraising and stuff. So once he gets his nonprofit status for the states, then I've got to start writing letters to people like Sam Harris and like people like right there, and trying to get them to invest in our school. So.
And
I probably will do a fundraiser, in the community too. But I'm gonna hit up the rich people first.
And stay tuned with all the channels. Like I say, everybody's link is in the description. And join us every Saturday night or Saturday Night The Atheist. Thanks everybody for being here. Simos had to duck early. I hope he's enjoying himself. Mike just about stayed to the end there. He's always a good entertainment, and along with his side person, Scott Duke. Appreciate y'all being on the panel.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And if we don't see you before then, we will see you next week. Everybody have a safe one and a happy one. And we will play the outro.
Love you, Dave.
Love you too. Take care of yourselves.
Tales of lore knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the captive desk's door. Oh, captive desk, hold our dreams, where reality and no myth seems. In conversations quiet flow, the mysteries untold will know. Legends live within these walls, silent echoes in the halls, books and stories on the floor, knocking at the